Gibbon, what's up, baby? How are you? I'm so glad you're here, man. I'm so glad. I'm so glad I can share a cup of coffee. I don't know if you have a cup of coffee.
I don't. I should have gotten my
No,
coffee.
it's okay.
I don't know why
It's
I have,
okay.
I have my bottle of water here, though,
hey,
so I'm all right.
That is healthy. I respect the hell out of that. That's like a gallon jug. Keep that, bro. Don't get into the coffee drinking like I am. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Gibbon, I want you to introduce yourself, man. Where you stream? How long you been doing what you doing? Give us a rundown.
Oh, okay. So, what year we're 2024. I started streaming during lockdown of 2020. So it was a crazy couple of months before the streaming, though, because man, lockdown. I know for a lot of people, lockdown was fucking mental. It was crazy for myself personally, because look, the way that lockdown worked in Ireland was, it was completely different to the States. I know that you all have your rights and all that stuff. So, but unfortunately, in Ireland, we had nothing. We were in a lockdown country. We weren't allowed to leave our premises more than 2,000 kilometers.
What?
Or was it less? I think so. I think it was less. Was it 2,000 kilometers? It was. What was it? Hold on, let me Google this.
No, you're good.
We'll say 200 kilometers or something like that. It wasn't 2,000. It was something. What am I saying? It was 2 kilometers.
Yeah, 2 kilometers.
2 kilometers.
Wow.
So why was I saying 2,000? Jesus.
It's okay. I was about to say that might.
Kilometers.
Yeah, I was about to say that might be the whole country.
Yeah. No. So we weren't allowed to leave our premise. If it was so we were allowed to go to the store, we're allowed to go to the shop, whatever shop was open, but we couldn't go beyond 2K.
Jeez,
it was ridiculous, absolutely mad. And if you did, you'd get arrested.
What?
And you get arrested and you'd get a fine. So we were in extreme lockdown. It was almost like if we were being imprisoned. And our deliveries were terrible. Like, the stores were open, but our deliveries to get like PC equipment or groceries or whatnot, they were all like extremely slow.
Yeah.
And it was a fairly heavy couple of months. So I was in my final year of college. I was doing business with marketing and management. And I think it was in the end of January or February 2020 was when our university sent out an email stating that they were officially closing down for a year.
Oh, damn.
And we're like, oh, okay, so what does this leave us? Like, we have lectures, we have tutorials, we have our thesis, because I did my thesis on video games, and my tutor at the time, she was being really strict on what I could and couldn't do. So meeting her was very, very important, but I couldn't meet her now, and she wasn't really there for the for video calls. So it was really, really stressful. And on top of that, I was working in a financial broker as a financial marketing advisor or analyst part-time. So it was like maybe 3-4 days a week.
Okay.
Because I only had like college. I had to be there in college maybe 2 or 3 times a week physically for a couple of hours, so I could just go to the office and do my work and get paid and such. But I was fired just out of nowhere. What? So they were like, yeah, you gotta go because we gotta shut down our doors because of COVID. I was like, all right, so I'm jobless. I have a couple of more months in college, and look, I can spend all this time doing college work, but I also want to have a hobby as well. And around this time in Ireland, TikTok was really, really like booming. So I was like, look, I'll do a couple of cringy TikToks just to see how that goes. And I play some games on the PlayStation 4 and I'll make some TikToks out of that and I'll put it up and see how it does. And it was doing pretty well. So then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pursue something that I've wanted to do for a very, very long time. And that was to stream on Twitch. And I saw that TikTok was a fantastic tool to get the name out there.
The best.
And so it was incredible. Like, it was so much better than what it was now.
Yeah.
And so I just did that. I did TikToks and I was streaming off of, I was still in college mind, and I would stream on Twitch during the weekend for a couple of weeks. And then I took like a month break until I bought a PC, but I would stream from my MacBook Air to my PlayStation 4 I didn't have a capture card. I used the this cloud service that the PlayStation had. So like, do you remember that?
Yeah, I played Xbox, so it was Xbox Record That. Are you talking to like a system like that? Yeah, I remember that.
So it was like that, but it was so funny looking back at it, right? There was a huge delay in me talking, and then the gameplay that was up. I was like, fuck, I'm going to have to... I said to myself, I was like, right, you're going to have to stop, because this is brutal. Because I was comparing myself to like Tim the Tatman and all them. And I was like, yeah, no, this ain't going to do. So I said, look, I'll put in an order for a PC. And at this time, I was broke. I had nothing in my bank account. And I didn't have a job. So I had to use my savings that I had gathered together to move to America that year. Because that was my plan. Our plan at the time was to move to the States. Didn't know where, but I wanted to go to America during the summer and stay there, get a visa, stay there 6 or so months, get a job, and see what goes.
Yeah.
So I think I had like maybe €1,000 or something like that thrown away in the bank, and I used that to buy a gaming PC, and I made sure that it was pretty decent. And then a buddy of mine is also a content creator. He gave me a hand with like, he provided me a mic, a headset, a Go XLR, and a key light. And I just had the monitor, the one monitor, and I used the MacBook as a thing to read chat. And that was it. I started streaming to an audience of about maybe 4 to 5 people for a month until TikTok really kind of and here we are today.
That's dude, that's so awesome. Given that now you're on the Coffee with Genooo podcast, man. It's been a long time coming, man. It's I'll be honest, we have some of your old clips later and old tweets.
No way.
Don't worry. I did forget to send you the script, so I'm gonna get that to you. But I do want to ask first. I just want to say thank you first off, and say thank you for not only being on the podcast, but also being there for so many. You're an incredible person, Gibbon, and that's why I believe you're super successful, man. And seeing your success the past few years has been a blast to watch. I sent you a message probably about a year ago, man. I was on Twitter. I was like, so many people have been in your spot, bro. Just keep pushing content, man. You're doing a great job. You deserve every bit of it, man. I'm serious.
Dude, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Your positivity in today's world is so needed in today's world.
It's very rare.
It is.
It's very, very rare.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you personally for being on the podcast. And if we had drinks, I'd cheers. But I'm gonna cheers to you, man. Cheers.
There you go.
Thank you. That's awesome. I wanted to ask, Gibbon, I've seen your content for a while, and you single-handedly sparked an entire type of video, like on TikTok, and especially the Tarkov community. How did you think of yourself as doing that, or like, did you think when you started, like, it was gonna spark an entire genre?
It was complete luck, if I'm being honest with you. Complete luck. Yeah. It was crazy. So I kind of what I always did was I always looked at the comments, and I always say that to anyone that is doing content creation. I always look at the comments, see what they're saying, and just use that to your advantage. So a lot of people were saying that, oh my God, it's the Irish Jon Snow. So I just said, okay, let's grow out the hair a little bit longer and put on that smoldering look every so often and see. But it's still to this day, since I started TikTok, still to this day, people are saying, oh my God, it's the Irish Jon Snow. I personally don't see it, but I'm like, hey, I'll take the compliment, you know? And then another thing as well was everyone was saying to me, it's like, oh my God, that Irish accent, it's really, really nice. And I could literally listen to you play all the time. I was like, okay, that's cool. All right. So we use that too. We got the looks, we got the voice. Now I need to get the gameplay because I'm terrible at Tarkov. I'm like one of the worst.
Oh, come on now, Gibbon. You know that's not true.
No, honest to God, like I'm terrible at the game. I push when you're not supposed to push. But you see that's me. You see, I don't play the game to be good at the game. I play the game to be entertaining. Yes. You know?
Preach. Yeah, 100%.
Trying to like be good at the game / entertaining is half the battle. But I mean, I feel like See, I studied games for 4 years in college, and I was like, I analyzed like all the big streamers now, and the majority of the big timers now, they all came from a competitive background, and then they did that for about a year or two. They got their money, they got their fame, and then they began to be themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know? I mean, like you got XQC. You got Ninja, you got Tim the Tatman,
Summit,
Summit. You know, they all came from a competitive background, and if you watch them when they were playing their game at the time, you'd be like, "Oh my god, this person doesn't engage in chat at all, but he's really, really good, so he's entertaining." But that at the time, that was such a rare finding a really, really good player, and just being absolutely in awe with how well they play. But then after they break that wall of confidence, they actually become to be themselves, and I mean just be entertaining as well as be good at the game. But with myself, I what I always really, really wanted to do was I wanted to do like a storytelling aspect with games, and that's what I did with Tarkov content. My first viral video was what was it again? It was when myself and myself and my mate at the time, we actually got into a game with a Marine, and I titled it, I got into a raid of Tarkov with a Marine. Yeah. And the story was, it was really, really short. It was like 30 seconds long, and I'm certain that whoever has TikTok and whoever watches Tarkov content, you probably have seen this.
Yeah, chat saying, I remember that video. That's funny you mentioned that. Yeah,
that was the first ever viral video that I put up of any video game, because I was doing videos before that, and I was doing cringy TikToks before that, and they didn't get near the viewership this one got. I think this one got like, I don't know, 10 million views, let's say.
Jeez.
Or maybe less, but I just have 10 million in my head. So the whole point of that, I knew before I put that up, I was like, this is going to go viral. I knew it because it was fucking hilarious. And I'm saying that I wasn't hilarious, but the people I was playing with was hilarious. And I was capturing that moment, and I was capturing the story of two Irish lads being put into a game with a Marine, not knowing how to play Tarkov. And you just have this guy like sweeping every corner. Yeah. And like the two idiots are there like, what are we doing? and then I implement, like a month before that, I watched John Wick, and I was like, oh my god, could you imagine if we like implemented like some sort of like John Wick or music or our cyberpunk music, and brought in like the SWAT video that is trending at the minute. And I did that. Yeah. And then all of a sudden it just blew up. I was like, you know what? I think I can play Tarkov from now on. But so that's where I went down. I went down that route of storytelling my raids of Tarkov. And it got to a point one Christmas, I think it was that Christmas, it was like a month or two after that, or maybe a year later, I went through an awful phase. My first game that I streamed was Warzone. I came from a Warzone background, and I averaged maybe 30, 40 people. And a lot of Tarkov streamers came into my Twitch chat, and they're like, oh my God, you should play Tarkov. And I was like, yeah, I played it once and it was good, but it's just a really tough game for me to play. And I didn't really have anyone to play with at the time. But then when they introduced VoIP, I was like, yes, bingo. Yeah. I love VoIP because I played DayZ back in 2011, 2012, and proximity chat and VoIP was a huge thing for like any adventure type of a game. Yeah. And I was like, oh my God, could you imagine if they brought VoIP into Tarkov and I put my adventure stuff and the VoIP interactions into two, and then Nikita gave us VoIP and I went into it and I was getting back-to-back millions of views. My average went from fucking 30 up to 500, and I was like, what is going on here? So I just rode that wave.
Rode the wave.
Yeah, just rode it. Yeah, that's to answer your question where I came from. That's it.
That's it, man. That's so awesome. I don't know if it was the same raid, but I remember going back in your clips last night to get some things for like older clips. And I remember one thing specifically. I want to say you were playing with the Marine, and you were like, there's a scav over there. And I forget what the conversation was, but he goes, "I am the Marine" or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah,
That was so
Curry,
funny.
yeah.
No, that was so good. You've sparked an entire genre, and we are everybody in here is so proud of your success, man. It's good seeing you from where you came from, right? You know, you'll see it in some of the tweets and stuff that I found. You know, you were so wholesome back then, and you're still so wholesome now, even though you know you completely blown up essentially overnight. You know, it was like one of those things. It was like, you know, you put in the hard work and you got the results. So I'm proud of you, Gibbon. I'm proud of you.
Oh, dude, thank you.
I wanted to move on to the gaming subject. I wanted to talk about that for a little bit. You've created content almost everywhere. I don't know where you started your gaming journey, though. What are some games/consoles you started with?
So the first ever game that I streamed on Twitch was Resident Evil 3.
Oh.
Yeah, that was on the PlayStation.
Yeah.
So that game came out around lockdown. I think it came out in like March of 2020. And I was obsessed with it. I was like, oh my God, I love, because my favorite genre, or my favorite, not genre, but my favorite series would be the Resident Evil series. I love it so much because it was the first game I ever played, Resident Evil 1, back in, I think I was like 4 or 5, back in like 98 or 99. And I had nightmares from it. So I had to play another game called Dino Crisis. And that was my love for dinosaurs / Jurassic Park and Capcom. Yeah. Just those types of games. So I was like, oh my God, I love Resident Evil. So I decided to stream that. And I was streaming to an audience of 0 for a week.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, if we can't do this then, because it was just overly saturated. And so that's when I took a break for about a month or so to get the PC and such. And then the first official game that I played was The Last of Us Part 2 when that first came out.
I've heard good things.
Oh, it's an incredible game. But I would consider my first day of streaming would be the 19th of June, 2020. Yeah. When The Last of Us Part 2 came out. I made a huge deal of it. And it was great though, because I did like a 24-hour stream in my first playthrough, and I think I had like 20 or 30 people watching me that day. And it was hilarious. It was just good banter. It was good fun. But I was in my grandmother's place at the time, and that's where I was streaming. I was in my grandmother's place down in my late grandfather's library, and that's where I spent the majority of my years starting off as a streamer creating content. Was just inside that little library. Yeah. And when I finished The Last of Us, I was heavily addicted to Fortnite. Because 2017, 2018, Fortnite was peak. 2017 was like the year where I was like, oh my God, I want to do what Tim the Tatman's doing. I want to be a streamer. You know?
Everybody did. Everybody wanted to be Tim.
But during I've been watching Twitch since H1Z1. I don't know if you remember that.
Yep. H1 was a fire game. I'm still sad that it's discontinued now. I know.
But that's when I was like, I want to be a streamer. But I knew that I wanted to do it when I was younger at that age, but there was no internet in our house. Well, there was, but it wasn't enough. So I couldn't pursue it then. And but then after that, what was the next then? Fortnite was around 2017, 2018. I streamed it for a bit during lockdown, and then I moved over to Warzone. And then I started doing like attachment videos and storytelling videos of Warzone, and they did really well. And that was around the time I was averaging maybe 40, 50. And I was doing like Irish competitions, and I was getting like these amazing Irish names coming in doing the custom lobby tournaments and stuff like that. It was really, really good. But the Call of Duty community is just so toxic. Yeah. And that wasn't me. I was just a completely different personality shift, with me being like, I like to say fairly straight and wholesome kind of a dude, and the Warzone community isn't. At the time it wasn't.
Complete opposite.
But a bunch of racists left, right, and center talking over you, and it was like, oh my God, this is horrible. So I got off of that, and I went over to Tarkov then, and was on Tarkov for about a year and a half, and then we had the the Wiggle video that came out.
Yep, I
And
remember that one.
You remember that one? And then that encouraged an awful lot more cheaters into Tarkov, and it got to a point where I'll never forget it. It was the last time I played Tarkov, and I was getting cheated on 5 times back to back, 5 raids back to back, and I'm like, these cheats, they weren't like, was he cheating? These cheats were guys that were doing 360s in front of me, swinging around and just aimbotting all over the place. And that happened to me back to back 5 times, and that's when I uninstalled it. And then I went over to DayZ, and with DayZ, it was a game that I've been playing since DayZ ever became a thing. And it being such an old game, I was like, look, this is a huge step in content creation. Do I want to play a 10-year-old game to an audience that barely exists on Twitch, to an audience that isn't there on TikTok? Do I want to do it? And I did it, and it got to a point where I was averaging over 1,000 viewers. I was getting back-to-back millions of views on TikTok, and I was like, yeah, this is a gold mine here in content creation. Yeah, this is it. So I played DayZ for about a year and a half. And it just got to a point where it's like, you know yourself, it's like, hey, you want to try something new again? So then I went down a route of playing rarity games for about a month, and that was an incredible month. That was only like November last year, and we went back to Tarkov. But now I'm getting that I've been playing Tarkov now since December, and now I've gotten to that point where I'm like, I think I want to go back to DayZ kind of a way. Do you know what I mean?
So 100%.
Like,
it's a little stagnant right now.
It is a little bit. It's like, it wasn't the same as what it was when VoIP was first included. Like, everyone was talking, and there was good memories. Now it's just like, I'm getting one tapped in the chest from fucking terrible rounds, or there's just no one talking, and it's I don't know. It's not the same as it used to be, and I'm okay with that. It's just time for something new. You know what I mean?
I agree. 100%. I think one thing that isn't talked about is the community itself has changed. I remember you mentioned the Warzone community being very toxic. I feel like, unfortunately, with the growth of Tarkov, it has slowly become a lot more toxic as well. I'm not saying that there aren't bright spots, because clearly we have communities like yourself. We have Deadly Slob's community, a lot of great communities, and a lot of great people. But with the growth of Tarkov, and especially TikTok's hyping up Tarkov for what it is. Your TikToks are like wholesome and storytelling, but a lot of people have made TikToks to make Tarkov seem like the greatest game, and so many people have gotten back into it, and that's great. But it's provided a bunch of people that don't, in my opinion, deserve to fit into the Tarkov community in a sense of like personality.
Totally agree. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%. And speaking about Tarkov, I wanted to ask you, one thing that many people probably know, in the podcast, whether you're listening or watching right now, that's how we found each other. Well, that's how we kind of became friends, is that we both play Tarkov. I wanted to ask you, you just gave me your opinions. The wipe's kind of getting stagnant here, and you want to go back to DayZ, but I do want to ask your thoughts on this wipe overall, so far, at least.
Definitely the best wipe I've played in terms of I don't know, like, it's like the recoil is definitely amazing. I love that. I love the way that I don't need to put on a bajillion attachments for a gun to be a laser. I absolutely hate the armor system, but I understand how it works, and it's working the way it should be. So it's like, if the armor system was like that from day one of Tarkov, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but it's just, we were so used to wearing a Gazelle or a Gen 4 or an Osprey or something, that we're like, oh, this dude is a fucking tank. But now it's like, if you're wearing an Alton or an Osprey, there is a chance of you actually really killing him. So I love that, but I just hate the change. It's going to take a while to get used to. With terms of VoIP and everything, it's not there. I mean, it's very, very rare for me to VoIP now to anyone. I try to, but it's like anytime that I do, it's just someone who doesn't have the mic on, or someone who's just it's just being an absolute arsehole or something.
Yeah, sweaty Chad.
Or just being a sweaty Chad. And then there's a new hype with the way that you play Tarkov now.
Yep.
And
Slower.
it's the ratting. It's the ratting. That's what it is.
Yep.
Slow ratting. And it's totally okay with that, because I feel like with Tarkov, every year there has to be something new. The year before last year for me was DayZ, but the year before that, I felt like it was like, that wholesome VoIPing, helping people out scenario with good fights and stuff. That was peak Tarkov for me, not just for me personally, but I think for everyone else.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I had so many people coming in being like, oh my God, like I want to play Tarkov. I'm new to Tarkov. And I met a guy in game who actually gave me a hand. That's gone now. That's totally gone.
I agree.
Whereas now it's just, man, dude, I put up a TikTok there the last day of me bumping into a scav. I was a scav and I bumped into a scav who was ratting outside relaxation room inside like the cultist hotel or whatever you want to call it. He was ratting outside it for 10 minutes and he was level 45 and he has 27 mil. And I said, why are you doing this? He's like, you don't need to do this. And he goes, oh, it's fun. I'm like, what? I was like, how is this fun? And he was just like, oh, I'm just here on my computer and I'm on my phone watching TikToks and YouTube. I'm like, but you're not. I'm like, but you're not playing the game. And he goes, yeah, but I am. I'm getting my loot. I was like, okay, fair enough. So I was just so confused. I was like, you're not playing the game. You're playing the game, but you're not playing it.
Yeah.
So I was like, is this really what's going on? So what I did was, I was like, right, I'm going to read my book. I'm going to stream. I'm going to rat. I'm going to read my book. My views went up by 100. I went up 100 more before I was reading my book. So I decided to read a chapter of Jurassic Park to my stream while ratting construction and streets. I got 8 kills and I read a full chapter. My views were like, it was at 500. They went to like 650 when I started reading. And I was like,
crazy.
This is absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is how people are playing Tarkov this wipe now. And they were playing it last wipe this way, but they're playing it especially this way too. And I feel like that is like not the downfall of Tarkov, but it's a shift in the way Tarkov is being played. Yep. And I genuinely don't know what the next play or the next wipe, let's say in summer, I don't know what the next play of Tarkov will be.
Yeah, I don't either. I hope they do something to combat, maybe I was saying something stupid like a cramping system, like if you sit still, something like that. But I think going back to your point, you had a guy that ratted for 10 minutes and said it was fun. I got killed. This is a few months ago. I got killed by I don't know if you know the shoreline tree going up the rocks.
Yes.
It was there last wipe. It's not there this wipe. I got killed by a guy sitting there, and he came into my chat afterwards. He was like, "Sorry, man, I'm working right now." And I was like, You're what? And he's like, I'm at my job. I was in a meeting and I was just ratting because I need the extra ruble. And I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, you're in the middle of your full-time job. You're killing me while I'm doing my full-time job, while you're in your meeting of your full-time job and probably not obtaining any information that meeting is giving you. He's like, yeah, it's fun. I'm like, if that's fun to you, I guess I lost.
It's crazy, man. It's absolutely nuts. But I'm there saying, I was thinking the same. I fucking hated rats. I was like, how do you get enjoyment out of doing this? But then I did it. And after hoovering up all the loot, after I killed like those 8 people or 8 players, I was like, okay. You know what I mean? All right.
Dude, I need to start reading too. I got a few books that I've been reading. I need to start reading chapters of book. In the book, it's relatable because the book I'm reading right now is how to be more kind to others in the world. So, you know, we might be not only teaching chat something, but we're going to be more entertaining while we're doing it.
Hey, you fucking go start reading your chat. I guarantee you, you're going to see a huge increase in viewership.
That's awesome. That is so funny. I got to ask, what's something you wish was different in Tarkov? There's a lot, but I wanted to ask you personally, what do you think would be different?
Something different. I don't know. It's a tough question.
Yeah.
So with DayZ, they have unlimited VoIP. I don't like the way the VoIP or proximity chat in Tarkov, it's cut off at 20 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you gotta wait. You know, I don't know why that is. But I think that should be increased, just because I feel like look, to be immersed in a survival extract shooter, you actually want to feel like you're there.
Yeah.
So you want to be having a conversation with someone, but you don't want them to be like, oh, sorry, I'm going to be cut off now in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And then they cut off, and then you got to wait like 5 seconds, and then they talk again. So that'd be like one big thing that I want changed. The cheaters, but look, I haven't had as much as an issue with cheaters this wipe as I did the wipe before. So that's that. Maybe I'm coming across 1 or 2 cheaters a day. When I'm streaming the game for 7-8 hours,
which is still absurd. I should point out, like if you say I run into 1 or 2 cheaters in a video game, you know, every single day, they're gonna say get off the fucking video game, you know. But it's because it's our livelihood, you know. We kind of have to play it in a sense. We just got to deal with shit like that, you know.
Exactly. And like, look, I mean, with Warzone, you get a cheater in every second lobby, but it's fine because you're not losing anything. Whereas with Tarkov, you're losing it all. So that's like, it's a heavier blow for those who like put their time and their effort, because it's their career. It's our career, like, for doing this. And then if you take it away because of some gobshite who buys cheats for 20 or 30 euro, you know, it's weird. But I genuinely never understood the whole cheating aspect in Tarkov. Like, I was a part of a Discord group, and you know, they're all a bunch of really nice dudes. And then we found out when that Wiggle video came out, I found out that like majority of them were actually cheating. I was like, well, I gotta leave this Discord. But I asked him, I was just like, why are you cheating in a game? They're like, oh, because it's a shit game. I was like, what?
You're contributing towards the issue, you know? Like, you're making it shit for everybody else.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, if you think it's a shit game, just stop playing it. Just fuck off and play another game. You know,
exactly.
It's so weird. It's so weird.
No, 100%.
But I don't know. So maybe look, the cheating in every video game is a problem. So I want the cheating to be changed, of course. The lighting, of course, like, oh my god, I loved interchange this wipe, but now they've reverted it back to the old lighting. It's like, I can't see shit.
Yeah. And
like, I have a key light here and I have a key light there. So whenever I go into a raid, I'm like, oh, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to turn off the lights and actually see what I'm doing. And the majority of my chat is like, I can't see fucking shit right now. What are you doing? And I'm like, oh, sorry, it's just interchange. It's not me. Another thing as well would be the spawns.
Really bad on ground zero.
It's fucking terrible in lights and interchange. But it's like, I do not know what they're smoking over there in Battlestate Games. I mean, look, my history is I was a games developer. I was for 4 years. I have 2 degrees. I have one in games development, and I have one in marketing and management. It is not that hard to change the spawns around or just make them random. It genuinely isn't. It's just, it's a system that they're comfortable with. That's the only thing. That's what it is. It's just comfortability. They're comfortable with the way it is, and they don't want to change it. But for the average Tarkov enjoyer like myself, or whoever is streaming it, they know themselves. The spawns they're a massive issue. And I think, in my opinion, I feel like the maps have kind of gotten a little bit lazy as well.
Yep, I agree.
With design. Shoreline is 10 times better now. There's more stuff going on. The foliage is increased. There's a lot of new POIs. It's a beautiful map now.
Yeah.
But before it was just too open. It was like, what is this kind of a way? But look, Tarkov is an old game. I'm sure that the teams the devs or whatever, I'm sure that they're actually working on another project.
Yeah.
And that is why they're not really focusing too much on this. They're just doing the wipes. They're adding a few things every so often to the wipes. They're a small team that work in Tarkov, and then they have another team working on their game. That would be my point at it now. But I don't know. There isn't really much, I think, to be changed in a game that's been out since 2016. I mean, they're doing a great job the way it is, but I mean,
agree.
there has to be like tweaks every so often.
I feel like it's too late, almost, Gibbon.
Yeah,
right? Like when I played Tarkov, 2020 was my peak. 2021, VoIP came out. Right? Like that was the peak of my experience, and we've waited so long for such important fixes. I feel like it's made us numb. Right? It's made people like yourself and I and streamers and people that play a lot. It's made us numb to these changes, right? They fix something, but they break something else, and we're just like, oh, it's Tarkov, right? When's the last time somebody came into your chat and they're like, yo, I just got decent killed, and you're like, oh, welcome to Tarkov, or oh, I just got killed by a cheater, welcome to Tarkov. We've become completely numb as players. That we don't care if something is fixed in a sense, right? Unless, like, how does Battle State, in my opinion, and I love Battle State, I met them in Vegas, they're a bunch of great people, genuinely. But how does Battle State have an invisible player bug for 2.5 months?
I know.
How is that
crazy.
A thing?
I haven't experienced that now, but I've seen clips. Is it still happening?
No, it isn't still happening. But I just don't understand how nobody at the development team was like, okay, like not even a day or two. Fine. Okay. An invisible player bug, but 2.5 months of getting killed by an invisible player is absolutely ridiculous.
I know.
I still can't believe that. I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent. But no, spawns are another thing. I say this every single wipe. I feel like Battle State sometimes changes things to just change them. Okay, I'll be honest. I did not have a problem with the interchange spawns a few wipes ago. This wipe, they're terrible. Battle State likes to add things, and you'll notice this. They'll change stupid shit because they want to say that they changed it. Great example of this: Shooterborn. Shooterborn, in my opinion, used to be a lot of fun. 100-meter headshots was a challenge, right? And not saying it's not a challenge now, but they were like, oh, yeah, everybody likes this quest, or everybody somewhat enjoys this quest. We're going to change it, right? And that's how Tarkov has got. They've changed core mechanics of the game just to change them for no reason. I know. It's
Another thing as well, I really want to sit down with them and be like, what are you doing, Arena? Why did you do it? Like, it's dead now, isn't it? Like, is there anyone playing Arena? I mean,
I know some people. That's for sure. But
dude, I don't know what Arena was about, but 5v5s are finished.
Yeah.
Like, in my opinion, I don't know. 5v5 games, go off and play Valorant, go off and play CSGO, go off and play Rainbow Six Siege. I mean, I understand Tarkov has it now, but they could have focused on a bigger project than that.
Yeah.
I always said that I know they're working on it, but it's a single player. How amazing would it be if we could have 100-player lobbies when all the maps are congested into one?
Yep.
And I mean, I feel like that should have been the next step.
Yep. I agree.
Or if you wanted to go down a crazier route, a battle royale.
I knew you were gonna say it.
I would say it would have done amazing. Could you imagine if we were all bears or USEC in a plane or a helicopter or BTR, completely naked, and we just went off into the land of Tarkov, open world, 100 players, and we had to collect all the kit that was in the game.
Yep.
I think that would have been huge. I don't know.
I agree.
Because I think that would have had a chance to really, I put it this way to you. Call of Duty DMZ, one of the best ideas that Call of Duty had. I have no idea why they stopped doing it. It was thriving on YouTube. A buddy of mine, Lucci, he was doing really, really well with Warzone. He was getting 10,000 views a hit, 20,000 views a hit. And then when DMZ came out, he was going down the same approach as I was going with storytelling, but he was doing it with DMZ on YouTube. He was getting like 500,000 views.
Jeez.
Because it was something new that Call of Duty were doing. It was like, it was an extraction, open worlds type of a game, and it was free to play. Imagine if Battlestate said, right, we're going to release a free, like, if I know the way that with Tarkov, it's a really, really heavy fucking game to play. If they just simplified it into a way that it was a smaller Tarkov with POIs from customs or interchange or shoreline, just like little places from each map, and they put it into one big map.
Yeah.
And it was free, and they introduced a battle pass. Oh my god! Like they would have been millionaires.
Yeah,
they would have had Tim the Tapman, Toki, Dr. Disrespect, all these guys playing it all the time. It'll be new, because they were saying that with Halo as well. Halo really, really messed up when they didn't introduce a BR, because at the minute, right, the most asked question I get in my chat when I play Tarkov, when I first played it, was, is this game free?
Yeah.
Because kids want to play a free game, and then they want to go to mommy or daddy and ask them for €10 or $10 a month for a battle pass. And because that's what I did my thesis on. I did my thesis on gaming, but I did it on I precised it on the battle pass strategy. And
very smart.
Did.
Yeah,
it's always a fan. It was unbelievable, unreal. So it was like, if Tarkov wanted to go down the route of making money, why didn't they do this? Like, what was the reason to do Arena?
Yeah. No, I agree.
I don't. Yeah.
Yeah, even going back to your point, I do want to move on to the next question, but going back to your point, what if they made it? Have you ever played WoW? World of Warcraft?
Oh god, yeah.
Yeah. Dude, WoW has a pretty cool intro where it's free to play up until a certain level. I was thinking about it, add a variant of that, add every map in the one, parts of every map in the one to make it interesting, or do something like Ground Zero to where you can free the play until up to a certain level, and then you have to pay. That could be a good idea.
When Tarkov first came out, when I first started Tarkov, I swear down, I thought that it was free up until you hit the flea market.
Yeah.
I thought it was a free game until you hit level 15.
That could be an idea. Yeah.
It's a great idea. Jesus, yeah.
Gets people addicted. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, I wanted to move away from Tarkov, and just a simple question. What do you think the future of gaming is? You think it's VR?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think we're there just yet.
Okay.
We how can I say this? So VR is advancing like ridiculously quick, and the future, the next step in gaming will be VR, but not for, I'd say, another 5 years.
Yeah.
Because it's, I don't know, like Ghost of Tabor. Have you played that?
Yeah. Well, I haven't. I've seen it, and everybody wants me to play it.
It's incredible. It is an incredible game. And when I played that, I was like, holy shit, this is so freaking cool. But I feel like we have been playing video games on our screen since the 60s, 70s, since Tetris and Pong and all that. We have been so used to us sitting down at her desk, looking at a monitor since the 70s. So VR has only came into place in the last, maybe we'll say 5 years, maybe longer, 10 years. It's way too soon. So with how quick technology is advancing now, I would say give it a minimum of 7 years. And then that's when VR gaming, it'll be interesting to see how Twitch or YouTube or anything like that, how they bring in how they'll bring in the whole aspect of the viewer sitting down watching VR gameplay. It'll have to be, I would say, what I was thinking about this there, like at Christmas when everyone was getting the Oculus Quest 3. I was there saying, I think the next step of content creation in VR would be a kid throws on the VR headset, goes on YouTube, and is actually immersed into the same raid or same game as the player, whereas the player is the voice in your head explaining how everything's doing, and you, the viewer, is just sitting back watching it from their POV.
That would be sick. Yeah.
So I think that's where it'll be, but we're not going to see that for another 10 years, I'd say.
I agree.
So instead of like chat watching us two on the screen, they'll actually feel like they're here with us. That'll be the next step.
That would be really cool. Yeah. And then you could see certain, our faces and stuff, and kind of be more involved and being able like feeling there.
Yeah, exactly.
I 100% agree. That is a very, very good point. It's not quite there yet. We just got some time. But that's a very good point.
The next step in gaming, the genre, I think, would be extraction shooters. So it was zombies, or it was 5v5. It was zombies. It was open world games. Then it was battle royale games. We're still on the battle royale. I think we're still on the battle royale hype, but it's dying, and I feel like extraction is coming in there now.
Yep.
Because we have Tarkov now. We have Grey Zone coming out. We have Beautiful Light coming out. We have Tom Clancy's Heartland coming out. We have a new World War II extraction game coming out.
Really?
All in the same year. Yeah, there's a new one. I don't know the name of it now. But I've been talking to a few people. It is in development and it's set to come out at the end of this year. But there's about 5 to 6 extraction games coming out this year.
Yep.
And that is insane. There's no new battle royale. There's no new 5v5 that I've seen. It's all new extraction games, and I feel like that will be the next kind of 10-year thing.
Yep.
The 10-year cycle.
I agree. Yeah.
And then after that, it'll be VR stuff, maybe.
Yeah. No, that very good point. I think you hit that on the head pretty well. I mean, it's funny you mentioned the 10-year thing, right? You saw it with battle royales. So many people don't realize where battle royale technically came from. A lot of people say PUBG, but even before PUBG, right? There was Arma 2 Epoch. There was Arma 3 King of the Hill. It was kind of like a battle royale. Like all of those games inspired those games. DayZ mod, right? For Arma 2 inspired DayZ, and that inspired a bunch of mods, right? And everybody thinks it's PUBG, but it wasn't. And that's so cool that you mentioned that, the 10-year cycle.
Fun fact, PUBG was developed by an Irish fella up in Galway.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. He was a developer for what do you call them? A volunteer developer for Bohemia who worked from home, who did like majority of the mods for Arma 2.
Yeah.
And we were invited because when I was 16, 17, I was fairly like not known, but I was well connected in the DayZ community and the roleplay side.
Okay.
And I met so many amazing people via TeamSpeak and everything. And I remember like having conversation vaguely with him and a few other guys. And that was like the start of kind of DayZ of where it is now. And he was like, they were suggesting like, oh, could you imagine like a Hunger Games style mod for Arma? And we're like, yeah, fucking let's do it. Go do it. And then boom, there it is now. And then
awesome.
that opened up a huge gate.
Yep.
For PUBG, H1Z1, what else was there at the very start?
It's a meme answer, but Minecraft Hunger Games was like an OG battle royale too,
Yeah, there you go.
You had, what are some of the other ones? Ring of Asylum was a big one for like 3 days. Dude, there were so many good battle royales that came out. And a lot of them flopped too because they didn't have the funding, which made me very sad to see. Ring of Asylum, the culling is a good one. I don't know if you remember the culling. That one was a crazy one. One of my favorites, battle royale, and nobody necessarily talks about it, was Realm Royale. It was a very goofy game. And when
I can't remember that
when you
name.
died, you became a chicken and you had to freaking float around and stuff to survive.
I never played that, but I saw that in Steam.
That
Yeah, I
was
remember
goofy
that.
as hell, but man, was
Yeah.
that a bunch of fun, bro. That was great. I wanted to move on though. I wanted to move on and talk about Tarkov a little more. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to stream on Discord something for you.
Okay.
We are going to stream. I'm going to take my webcam away. We are actually getting back to Tarkov. We're going to do MrGibbon's. Hopefully you can see this. Let me switch scenes real quick. We are going to do the Tarkov maps. We're going to make a little
maps.
tier list. We're going to make a little tier list for you, MrGibbon. Feel free to give your reasoning for every map, either at the end or when you pick it. Let's start off and just say Arena. You had your thoughts on it. Where are you putting it?
Like is Timmy the worst?
So we'll actually, you know, we'll change this. We'll change it to the actual rating: A, B, C, and then let's just do F.
Grand.
Yeah.
Arena. I don't know. I can see. Look, I'm not a 5v5 player. This is just all me personally now, right?
Yeah.
So it's like. If there's 5v5 players watching this and you like CS:GO and all that, I used to be heavily addicted to CS:GO, but I'm over that now. I put Arena down at the bottom.
Okay.
I think it was I don't know. I think it was just a wasted opportunity to try a different project.
I agree.
In my opinion, look. It turned out when it first came out for the first week, I was enjoying it, but I just didn't find it fun. The whole point was I needed to have better equipment. So it was weird. Everyone had different classes, which was fine. But I was being put into games with fucking chads. And I was still like a level 1 player. So I was like, I didn't stand a chance. So I just kept getting killed.
The balance of it was terrible.
Yeah.
Worst I've ever seen. Yeah, it was terrible.
Yeah. So I was like, not for me.
Moving on, customs.
Okay, I love customs.
Okay.
I put it up at S.
Okay, I agree with you. I agree with you there. We've done this. I will say we've done this with one other guest, so I'm curious to see the comparison. We did it with Jesse. And I'm curious. I feel like you guys are very similar in a sense of personality. So I'm curious to see where your ideas match up with his. Factory next.
Factory. It's a great map.
Yeah.
Like I've had some fun in Factory. It's just a PvP map. I'd give it an A.
Okay.
Do you know, I enjoy Factory.
Okay.
Interchange. Interchange could be so good, man.
Yeah.
It could be so freaking good. Look, I give it a C. I would give it an A, but just because of the lighting, I'm giving it a C.
Dude, I told you about Jesse, man. He did the same thing.
Yeah,
for the exact reason. The lighting. It's just.
That's all.
Oh my God. I don't know why they reverted it. It was finally getting good. They did
Yeah,
that with
it
the
was getting
audio.
really good.
They did that with the audio. It was so good, and then they fucked it up. I don't understand.
Yeah, the audio is a weird one, but it's like I just hated the fact that you could have just one person. Look, there's so many mannequins on the map. It's so hard to distinguish who's who, especially with the lighting.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, if the lighting was just increased, like the lights are on, but they're just a white line. There's nothing off of them.
There's no vibrance. No, I get
There's no vibrance. So it's like, I don't know.
That's funny. Labs. Chad map.
Labs. Oh, dude, I hate labs. Like,
Okay.
I love the idea of it. I don't play it. Anytime I get a labs key card, I would just sell it. Or if I have to do my quests, I'd have to get someone in chat to be like, here, walk me around. I'm not a Chad.
Yeah.
I remember I did a lot of my TikTok videos on the labs because it reminds me of the Hive from Resident Evil 1.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's nostalgic in that sense. It's a beautiful map. The colors are there, but it's laser cheaters. I'd probably give it a C.
Okay. C tier.
You know,
It's above
I'd probably
Arena.
give it a C.
Okay.
Yeah, it's above Arena. Lighthouse, dude.
Oh no. Oh
Look,
no.
I'll be real with you all, okay? So Lighthouse was my favorite. It was.
Yep.
Before this wipe, it was my favorite. or the wipe before, because you could actually go out to the lighthouse.
Mhm.
There was some great loot there. You could loot up, like you could loot in one specific side of the map, and you could just extract and get a shit ton of money without getting into firefights. The rogues are janky as fuck.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. Look, just to I put it in the middle.
Okay.
I put it into
tier.
B.
Okay.
Yeah, I put it into B tier. The
Okay.
rogues are all over the place. They're janky. I don't like the way that I can't go over to Lighthouse now, even though it's called Lighthouse. I need to be a certain level, and I have to have certain quests and stuff done.
It's my least favorite map. But sorry, you're not asking for my opinion. Yeah, I can't, dude. What puts it down to like an F tier for me is the fact that scavs can spawn at the same time as PMCs. I get to the damn houses or you know, the cottages, and there's a player scav there before I'm looting. You know, I just, it's terrible. But yeah.
No, I agree. I will put it down lower, but it's just, look, I've had the majority of my interactions in Lighthouse.
Yeah, there are some good people in Lighthouse.
Listen, I've had some great conversations with people, and it's where I met Pool Shark, you know. So
really?
Yeah. That was that was the big 10 mil plus video that I put up, and it kind of put myself, and I think himself, on the radar.
Yeah.
A little bit more than what he already's at, but no, I love Lighthouse, but there's a lot of fucking issues with it this way.
Yeah. Reserve.
Oh. Fuck.
No, it's a hard one for me too.
Yeah. I like the map. Audio is scuffed. D2 rats. It didn't happen to me, but it happened to me last week.
Yep. Man.
I don't know, dude. Jesus.
So let me ask you this: is it better than Lighthouse in your eyes?
No.
Well, okay.
I don't know. They're both very on the same.
Yeah. Okay. So we could put it at B tier.
Put it at B.
Okay. Yeah, it's a pretty mid map. I'll be honest with you.
It's mid.
They ruined that map when it was when they added D2 and stuff. The player base is completely shifted. You don't get any fights up top unless it's all spawns, and going back to your, you know, point spawns are terrible in that map. You know, reserve is a very mid map.
In reserve are down with the raiders are at. That's all the fights. I've never had a fight up top, and even if I did, I get zoomed from someone over in dome. So it's like, ugh.
Worst part about
it's a weird one.
Worst part about reserve, in my opinion, is the player base. The people that play reserve are just something else. I'm not trying to be that guy.
Else. That's enough said.
Okay, don't hurt my feelings here, Gibbon. Don't hurt my feelings.
Shoreline, no, listen. Okay. Shoreline, this wipe is amazing. Okay. I really like it. Just the audio is scuffed.
Audio is
in
scuffed.
resorts. I'd give it an A.
Okay, thank you.
I give it an A.
Thank you. Shoreline's up there for me.
Yeah,
Shoreline's up there
I like
for me.
Shoreline.
Okay.
But it's just the audio, like, there's how many stories in resorts? There's like 4 or 5?
Yeah, 4.
4?
Well, some,
Yeah, so, yeah, I don't know. It's
I respect it.
Yeah, and look, I've had firefights all over Shoreline. I've had firefights in resorts. I've had firefights over by tunnel. I've had firefights over towards customs. And I've had firefights at the pier. So, like, it's an overall, it's a good map.
Yeah.
It's a good map for me. Streets, S.
S, okay.
S.
Streets, you liking streets this way?
I love streets.
Oh, okay.
I didn't until I started playing it with my duo, G-Mac.
Yeah.
And he was showing me all the hot spots. And he was showing me the loot spawns. Like, it's crazy loot.
That's awesome.
I've had some funny interactions. I've had some great firefights. I don't like the BTR, the way that's bugged. The BTR I would fix up, but other than that, I think it's a solid map. It's huge. It's huge as well. So it's you know what, you could get away from firefights fairly easily. Yeah,
and I feel like with somebody like yourself, VoIP is really common on streets. At least
it is.
You know, more common than other maps. So I mean, streets, in my opinion, is an A tier, but I mean S tier for you is perfectly fine.
Yeah. For sure. Woods, I don't know. Woods is a strange one because everyone said, "Oh my God, Woods S tier, loot crazy." I've never found any loot in Woods. And I check the spots. I just don't get lucky.
Yeah.
And I don't know, for like the viewer, I think Woods is terrible because of how messed up the bitrate goes.
Yep.
For
I agree
Twitch
with that.
and YouTube streams. So I'm just thinking of this practically. Look, Woods is a decent map, but yeah, I'll give it a B.
Okay. That's fine with me. This is your final list. To make it easier on the audio viewers, we have Customs in Streets at S tier. A tier, you have Factory Shoreline for MrGibbon. B tier, you have Lighthouse Reserve Woods. C is Interchange Labs. And lastly, at F, the one and only Arena. I agree. It's a missed opportunity. I feel like they've rushed it too. You know? Like, it just feels rushed to me.
Yeah,
you know?
it's a weird one. I don't know. It was just, they could have done something better.
Yeah, they really could have
done something better.
Well, I appreciate you doing that tier list. We have some more things coming up. I'm sure you see the tabs up here. Don't look at them just yet. We're going to stop streaming. I'm going to turn back on my camera. Accidentally clicked on my camera. There we go. Bingo, bango. I wanted to get into the content creation side, MrGibbon, because like I said earlier, I should firstly just say you inspire more people than anyone when it comes to TikTok and Tarkov TikTok. Your editing style, long form TikToks, intros is what inspired so many people, Gibbon. I'm serious. You single-handedly changed the directory of Tarkov content for now and years to come. Do you realize how much of it, and I kind of touched on this earlier, do you realize how much of an impact you've had, though? Like, you ever look at back when, you ever see a Tarkov TikTok, and they do the intro, and then, you know, it's like, wait a minute, I kind of inspired that. Yeah.
Like, I started that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I love it so much. I always encourage people to do shit that works. Copy. Do it. I mean, get inspiration. That's why we're all on this boat together. Please do it. If it's working, it's working. So when I did it, so if you see when I first started doing my intros, it was weird because I just looked at the comments. Oh my god, that slow blink. Oh my god, the way he says Tarkov. Oh my god, this. I just said, I just kept doing that. And when I kept doing that, I saw that there were so many other creators doing it too. I was like, this is so cool. And then this one Twitch and YouTube analyst did a video about me. And he says, you need to do these intros because they're working. Yeah. And I was like, holy fucking shit, I'm not the only one who thinks they're working. And all of a sudden, like, people were doing them too. But they weren't doing the whole slow blink, or they weren't, like, I don't know. So the whole thing was, I had the funniest interaction with Escape from Tarkov. And then I would do the slow blink. It just, the comment section was like, oh, my day is made, slow blink done. Yeah. You know? So it's like, that's mad. And then other people would do it as well, and it was great to see. But then it's got to a point where they wouldn't do that. Their intro would just be their voice, and it'd be like, I met this lunatic on DayZ, and it wouldn't be their face camera; it would just be their intro. And I was like, oh my god, that's so cool the way that people are still doing it to this day. So when I saw that happening more than just me doing it, I was like, that's a pretty cool thing to have, you know? Yeah. When I first like you first started doing videos and you were hitting millions and millions back to back, right? I remember I knew you had an impact when I would go to Landmark's TikToks, and in the comments section they would at you and be like, Landmark, do an intro. Landmark intro. And I was like, dude, this motherfucker Gibbon is inspiring so many people. That's so awesome. But he tried it, cool. And he tried it, man. But he wasn't comfortable. Like, I saw, and I was like, I was like, maybe Landmark just go back to this, uploading. Landmark is definitely one of those guys. It's just like, he just goes with the flow. He just, makes content. He's a good dude, but he's very good at the game. He's not that YouTuber personality in a sense. No. I wanted to ask, MrGibbon, it's hard to remember, I'm sure, but I do know, for me at least personally, there were a lot of inspirations when I first started streaming. Who were some of your first inspirations when you started out content creation? Well, Tim the Tapman and that group were a huge inspiration to me in college. Myself and my buddies, we would sit down at lunch in the car and we'd put them up on our phones while we eat our lunch in the car. And we would just watch, their Call of Duty content or Fortnite content. So that was like a huge inspiration for me. Just shortly before I wanted to be a streamer. Yeah, it's a strange one now because I just don't have time to watch.
Yeah,
my favorite streamers and content creators anymore. The content creators and the streamers that I grew up watching, there's a lot of them now who I would consider my friend.
Yeah,
which is
crazy. Yeah, exactly.
It's absolutely mad that I'd be in bed watching this person, and then now we're like really close friends kind of way. So I think like for anyone that's like starting off streaming or anyone that is like trying to get inspiration, you get inspiration while when you're first starting off, and then when you see that you yourself are an inspiration to others, you need to work on yourself then, and not 100%. Look at others and just be like, oh look, they're inspiring me, so I'm going to use what they're doing for myself to inspire others. You have to be your own person.
Yep.
So like right now, like this very day, I don't know, it's a weird one. I look at so like Lucci would have been a huge inspiration, still is, in the form of YouTube/TikTok. When he was doing his Call of Duty stuff, but I don't play Call of Duty now, and I would consider him my mate. So when I first started off doing TikTok, Twitch, he was a huge inspiration, and then there was the Vanos crew, which were a huge inspiration to me back in the YouTube days.
Hilarious people.
Yeah, hilarious. And now Dahi Denogla would be considered like, I consider him my brother now. Do you know?
That's so awesome.
Like, you know, and I grew up watching him and Vanos and all them. And then who else would there be? There's just so many amazing people out there that I mean, look, everyone is kind of an inspiration.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's an inspiration to me now. My family is an inspiration. I couldn't just pinpoint just a handful of people. 100%. There's just so many.
Yeah,
you know?
100%. And kind of going back to what you said is like, I think one moment that, you know, I'm nowhere near the size of you, Mr. Gibbon, but like one thing that really shocked me one night is I was laying in bed on Twitter and I got followed. I kind of grew up in a different, not in a different field, but I watched a lot of the realistic games, you know, like Squad and Arma 3 and stuff like that. And so I wasn't really watching a lot of Tim. I was watching somebody, Operator Drewski, Devil Dog Gamer, and they both follow me on Twitter now. And it's just like the coolest thing. It's like, I actually hit up Drewski one time and I was like, it wasn't me shooting my shot by any means. I was just like, hey, I just want to let you know that your YouTube video the other day was really fucking good. I watched the whole thing. He's like, hey man, like, thank you so much for the compliment. You know, I lurk you all the time. I'm like, wait, what you watch me? You know, and the same thing, it's just crazy to me seeing the people that you look up to become friends. And like you said, you know, we have been blessed to, you know, not only meet each other, but meet so many people in the Tarkov field and the DayZ field. I know you're good friends with Ash. You know, Ash was on the podcast before. He does a really good job with very similar content to kind of like what you're doing. And it's just so cool seeing everybody succeeding at the same time. You know,
it's crazy, dude. It's absolutely nuts. When
sick.
Everyone is getting on together and we're all growing at the same time is just the best.
Exactly.
It is the best.
100%.
It really is.
100%. And I'm glad you brought that up. I really. I wanted to ask, you kind of touched on it earlier. What's some advice you might have for someone starting streaming and content creation? Is there anything specifically nowadays you would recommend?
Marketing, just from my experience when I first started, marketing is the most important tool you need to know for content creation because it is such a competitive industry to get into. It is by far the hardest industry that I've ever been in the forms of career wise, and I've done like 6 or 7 other jobs. You know, this has been so many. This is by far the hardest. But now, if I were to restart it all over again, I would play a game that you enjoy and not a game that is being hyped.
Yep.
I wasn't enjoying Warzone. I was only playing it because I was watching it. And if you want to be a content creator to grow, you playing an oversaturated game and just not working on your social medias, you're just become a dead streamer.
Yeah.
A dead streamer is you're streaming to an audience of 1 to 10 people because you're not uploading on your YouTube, you're not uploading on your TikTok, your Instagram, or Twitch, or whatever, or Twitter. The less you stream, the better it is for you. And when I first started streaming, for the first year, I would stream crazy hours.
Yep.
Oh my God. I'd stream like 10 hours and I'd start the stream at like 5 o'clock my time and I'd finish at like 3 or 4 a.m. my time. And I just became an absolute degenerate. And I wasn't working on my socials. I wasn't working on my brand. I was just playing a game and just streaming it to a dead audience. But as soon as I like got the finger out of the arse and started taking the TikTok out and started throwing up videos and clips and learning how to edit and learning what times to put such up and all that, I got to see a turnaround of growth. And that's if it wasn't for marketing, if it wasn't for marketing my name, if it wasn't for marketing my brand, I wouldn't be where I am today.
100%.
You need to be streaming I think at the very start if you're going to become a streamer. Stream for like 4 hours. Don't go over that. Treat it as a job. Treat it like an 8-hour job or a 7-hour job. Stream for 3 or 4 hours, then go have a snack, come back, work on your edits, work on what you thought was funny, work your edits, get your name out there, and that's it.
Very similar philosophy to what Pest Silly said. We got into a big conversation about it.
Yeah.
Is if you have like 4 hours, or let's say you have 6 hours every night, right? You get home from work, you have 6 hours to dedicate towards content creation. 3 of those should be streaming. 3 of those should be learning how to editing, artwork, whatever it may be, working on things outside of it, right? So many people nowadays just thinking hitting the go live button is going to blow you up overnight, right? I promise you, and I'm sure you know this, Gibbon, is that it doesn't work like that. I wish it would. I wish it did, because I wouldn't have to work. I wish it did. I used to, when I first started out, I was working 14, 15-hour days, and half of those were streaming. Every else I was working on panels, artwork, all of that stuff. And I'm sure you can relate, right? Like editing TikToks,
Definitely. The hardest part is editing. Definitely. Like I'm lucky now that I have an editor because I took on an editor last year and I'll be completely lost without them. But I tell you one thing though, before the editor, it was nuts.
Yeah.
It was crazy hours, absolutely crazy hours, but it was worth it. But it's a lot of grind, and you need to be expecting that,
100%. I agree wholeheartedly. I think one thing, and I've mentioned this multiple times during this podcast, you're not only a great creator, but you're an incredible person. And I think that's what really, like, truly, Gibbon, makes you so successful. You relate to so many people, right? I wanted to ask, what's some of the coolest things that streaming has helped you get or obtain? For example, can be a goal, can be a car, simple conversations. What's something that has really, really helped you?
It's so up until streaming, I was a very, very fake person. I wasn't myself. I was trying to be someone who I wasn't because look, Ireland is a very, very small country, and in order for you to fit in, you need to kind of be fake. You kind of have to go with what everyone else is doing. So before streaming, I worked in Tommy Hilfiger as a sales assistant / model. And I was also a model part-time for 4 years, and I was Mr. Ireland's first runner-up for 1 year.
Oh shit.
And that whole industry was very, very fake. And it was just like there was just drink everywhere, there was drugs everywhere. It was just it was not like a great industry to get into. But look, that's where I thought I kind of fit in. Because I came from a small town, and then I moved to a city, and then when I got into the city, the first week I got into the city, I got a job in Tommy Hilfiger. I worked in there, and then a week later I got spotted from a modeling agency, and I got into that. and I was just modeling every so often, and I just became that kind of like, you if you saw me walking down the street, you'd be like, wow, that guy's a dick. Do you know? He just looks
I
like
know
a
exactly
dick.
what you're talking about.
Full of himself, kind of thing. Do you know? He's just shoulders back, and he's wearing extra tight clothing. He's going to the gym fucking 7 days a week and all that stuff. I was just in a very, very unhealthy place at the time, and that wasn't me, because before that I was a closet gamer, is what I called it. I was a gamer who wouldn't show off that I was a gamer, because I wanted to be popular. I wanted to get the girls and such. I wanted to be heavily into sports and all that. And I wouldn't tell anyone that I was like a crazy nerd. I was a crazy gamer, unless like I was fairly close to you. So what streaming has done for me was it has brought out the real me in me, I think.
Yeah.
It's actually brought out the actual person that I was, and it's such a shame that I didn't do this before, but I felt like I couldn't do it before.
Yeah.
Because of the country that I'm in.
Yeah.
Do you know, in Ireland, you're either extremely popular or you're extremely good at sports. Hurling is what it is. Hurling or football. It's not soccer. It's Gaelic football or hurling. And if you're not into sports, or if you're not popular, you're kind of a nobody.
Yeah.
So in order for me to go down the popular route, I needed to be fake. So I was fake. So, so I'm still. Yeah. Sorry. You okay? Did you do anything?
Check it in.
I'm still doing it. Yeah. I know.
Hopefully I'm not in the way of anything.
You're fine, Gino. You're fine. I'll be in a bit. Yes. She goes, "Is it live?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, fuck."
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah.
So yeah. No. So it was like, so it was either you were either in the sports side or you're popular, and like in order for me to be popular, I had to be fake.
Yeah.
So it was just a really, really shitty time for me. But then the whole streaming thing, it just completely, like, it brought me back to who I was.
Yeah.
And it's absolutely crazy, right? I had so many people message me and be like, "Oh my god, dude, I always knew you were a gamer. Like, why didn't you say it?" I was like, "I just didn't."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Look at you now, you know, you're fucking killing it." And like seeing that, it makes me happy and sad at the same time, because I'm like, fuck it, why wasn't I just myself?
Yeah.
In the teenage years, you know, why wasn't I just myself? And I always say that to everyone. It's like, look, if you're going to become a streamer, just be yourself.
Yeah.
And you're going to have people come in who watch you, who can connect with you. You do not want people coming in who if you're putting on a fake persona, you're going to bring in the people who are just into that. And if there's any time that you slip up and you're actually your real self, you're going to lose all that people.
Exactly.
So you need to be yourself in this kind of a thing.
Yeah, we need to put that on a t-shirt. I swear that whole paragraph. No, but seriously, I feel like people nowadays, and you see it in content creation, unfortunately, nowadays, is a lot of people, they put on a fake persona. You know, you see a lot of people blowing up nowadays, and they put on a completely different personality than who they are IRL. You know, you see people all the time belittling other people, and I guarantee that's not how they are in public. You know,
dude, stop. Like when I went to San Diego and I met the streamers there, and I was like, "Oh, you're actually a fucking cunt." You know what I mean? I was so straight to people in San Diego sometimes. Like they were all so nice in the streams, and then when you see them, it's like, you're a dick. And I mean, it's baffling with all that. But look, at the end of the day, it'll come out sooner or later, kind of thing. Do you know what I mean?
It will.
It just will.
The truth always prevails, Gibbon. The truth always prevails. And I'm glad you brought that. I really am. I wanted to get to a little hot take before we move on to one of my favorite sections in the podcast. With you being super influential in the TikTok space, what do you think the future of TikTok content is?
Oh, TikTok's gone this year. See you later. All the best. Yeah, it's gone.
I think definitely. I heard you tweet. I think you tweeted about that the other day. Is that it's going towards the bottom.
It is, man. I'm still like on a shadow ban at the minute. I mean, look, I have 1 million followers, and I think the content is decent. I'm lucky now to hit 100,000 views.
Really?
Or sorry, 50,000 views. And with an audience of 1 million people, which is so strange.
Yeah.
It also, they deleted and muted over 10 of my videos that had over 1 million views.
Jeez.
Because of this whole universal thing, they pulling out with their music. It is a music app. It was always advertised as a music app.
Yeah.
Now it's no longer a music app. So that's going to go away.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time that a American company or something else or YouTube or whoever come up with another app that is just going to push TikTok out of the way.
I agree.
But I genuinely think that TikTok is gone this year.
Yeah. That's a bold take, but I agree with it.
Yeah, no, I put my hand up here because when I went over to Florida last year and I went on TikTok, I was bombarded with ads.
Really?
And I was like, holy shit. The ads, the shop, everything, this is nuts. Whereas it's not like that in Ireland. There's only an ad every half an hour. And that's it, really. So every time you swipe, there's an ad every half an hour and you swipe up and that's it. But I've seen a huge decline in gaming on TikTok because it is ridiculously oversaturated.
Yep.
And by oversaturated, I mean, if I created a new account now, and I'm doing this as a test, I've created a MrGibbon clips channel, and we're getting together like a load of clips, and we're going to put them up at like the same time to see how they do.
Yeah.
But what's going on is if you create a new account and if you put up a viral TikTok, you will be viral on that page for about a month, and then it'll die down. Wow. And then you're gonna. I think TikTok comes in cycles. If you upload a new game content every month, you'll go viral because it's something new, it's something trendy.
Really?
And it goes up in that. Yeah, I feel that. But that's gone now because there is just a crazy influx of new accounts being made, throwing up really, really shitty, quick edited content that is going viral. And by shitty, I mean it's the bit rate is terrible, the sound quality is terrible. All of this is like, it's just, I wouldn't find it, I wouldn't watch it. But it's sending that video to an audience on TikTok and it's just blowing up, whether it's bots or whatnot. No, I'm under the impression that majority of the views in TikTok are bots.
Really?
And so if you get botted with views or likes on TikTok, it'll go viral, and then you will get in proper viewers. In. I think that after doing it for 4 years, I think it's a fairly botty kind of a thing, and especially TikTok is being banned in in different states and different countries and such. But like last year, the year before, my content was blowing up in China and it was blowing up in India as well as America, but it was predominantly American. But I was getting in quite a lot of Indian viewers on Twitch, and then all of a sudden India pulled all like Twitch and TikTok and YouTube out. It's mad. So I would say TikTok is going to be gone by the end of the year, or else it'll be heavily monetized, or not monetized. I mean, it'll be heavily demonetized, and it'll get people away from it. Yeah. And a new app will probably come into effect this year. Yeah,
well, we're clipping this. We're gonna, when that new app comes in, we're gonna quote tweet you, MrGibbon, and you're gonna be right. All right, because I believe in it.
Like it.
It's crazy too because TikTok, they take you off of the algorithm so fucking easily. I don't know if you I'm sure you know about some of it, but did you know? And I tell this to people all the time. People are always like, "Oh, Gino, I uploaded at the wrong time. Should I delete the video?" Do you know deleting videos on TikTok that push you off the For You page? I tell people to private them. Is it a myth?
Yeah, it's a myth. It's a myth.
Okay.
It's not true. So put it up 4 hours after. I was speaking to someone who's in TikTok, and they said no, it's a myth. But uploading it at the time has a huge impact. Yeah. But deleting it does not
well, then
have
we're
any
safe.
effect. Yeah,
we're safe.
Oh god, no! I've done that nearly every day. Yeah, I do that all the time. all the time.
While you're on the podcast, Gibbon, do you have a direct contact with TikTok? Because my podcast got banned, and they said that they won't unban me, and I need help.
I can't give out the information, but what I'll do is I'll reach out to them and I'll see what's.
I appreciate that, Gibbon. You're a legend. I had to mention it.
No, of course. But look, I mean, it's a very like TikTok. It's full of. I have one connection, and I haven't talked to them in about 5 months.
Really?
And I sent them a message before, and it's on red, and they haven't gone back to me. But when I was blowing up, I had a connection, and the whole thing. I tried to get verified as well, but they couldn't even help me out. And they're like my own. It's the only person I know.
Yeah.
Who is in TikTok, because the TikTok is up in Dublin. There's offices up in Dublin in Ireland, and they don't even know that. So it's a weird one.
Another reason why you think it's going to go downhill, and why I think it's going to go downhill as well. It's just so hard to be a creator there. You know, you kind of have to be. You kind of have to be somebody you're not. Like going back to your point, you have to be somebody you're not. You have to make
exactly.
Not necessarily the best content, but content that's relatable. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but.
No,
it's completely just changed as of recent. I want to go to a more positive atmosphere. I don't want to talk about coffee, Mr. Gibbon. I don't think I know this. Are you a big fan of coffee?
God, yeah. When you said on the tweet saying that we were predominantly known for tea.
Sorry. Yeah.
No. You're fine, because we are. We are. But I saw the British and I was coming in. I was like, oh Jesus, here we go.
Yeah. No.
It's like, but no, I hate tea. I can't stand the tea. But no, coffee's definitely I think a bigger thing in this country than tea.
Yeah.
I
really?
love coffee.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I asked my friend when I was making the script the other night. I was like, "Hey, Patty, like, do you know if Irish people are known for more coffee or tea?" He's like, "Google says tea." I'm like, "Well, they are close." And I was like, "I feel like they're known for their fucking Irish coffee." And he was like, "No, man, they're known for their tea." So that's why I made the tweet. I should have did my own research. I should.
No. You're fine, because when you Google it, no, we are like, we're mad for tea. Like every household in the country has tea after their dinner.
Yeah.
But it's weird because in England they don't call dinner, they call dinner tea.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Okay. So it's like they have tea with their. I don't fucking know at all. But no, anyone that I know is just mad for their coffees more than tea.
Okay.
But every household in Ireland would have a tea and a biscuit after their dinner.
Okay.
No, that's it. So you weren't right, but you weren't wrong. But I was like, when I saw that, I was like, oh Jesus, here we go.
This isn't a question on the script, but do you know the reason why your country and especially British people enjoy tea so much, and why? Do you know why it started to become a big thing over there? I don't know if you know this, but I read it the other day. It was like this super old fact. And I was like, dude, that's crazy.
You tell me the fact, and I'll tell you whether it's right or wrong.
Apparently, the reason that tea is so popular is because you guys often deal with a lot of rain and gloomy weather. And tea actually helped mental health back in the old days, right? Tea was something that people looked forward to, and that's why it's so popular over there. I didn't know that.
So what I think it actually is, right? And this, the reason why I know this is because my grandmother told me, during World War II, everything in Ireland was rationed, and everything was in England was rationed as well, because the war was happening.
Yeah.
So every household was given a set number of items to have on their weekly or daily groceries, and tea was the one item that they could have that could be divided up a little bit more, so you could only put a little bit of tea into something.
Yeah.
So you would be given the same amount of tea each week, but you could make the tea longer. So it became a bit of a subsidy, like, even though it's just water, but the remedies in it felt like it'll keep you going more. Yeah. And the caffeine and everything that was in it. So that's what she told me. That's why tea in Ireland became such a big thing, because of the whole World War II rationing
that's
thing.
Awesome. Well, we learned a few things about tea today. I want to go back to coffee, though. I know you're Irish, of course. I have to ask about coffee with whiskey in it. Do you enjoy it?
I love it.
Love it.
But
Okay.
only at Christmas time.
Okay.
So my grandmother, see, Irish coffee isn't a big thing here at all.
Really?
No, it's not. Irish coffee wouldn't be like, I don't know anyone personally who has an Irish coffee at home.
Oh man, it's an Americanized Irish thing, I guess.
Oh, it is, yeah. It's
Really?
hugely Americanized, yeah.
Okay.
But we have it like, do you know, it's a big thing because it's a big thing at Christmas. My grandmother, she does it. How does she do it now? She brews the coffee, puts a little bit of brown sugar into it, then she puts in 2 shots of whiskey,
Okay.
and then she douses the top of it in Irish cream.
Yep.
And that's it. That's an Irish coffee. I mean, I don't know anyone personally. Yeah, it's a holiday thing. You know, it's something that you'd have at Christmas. It's something that you wouldn't have every night or once a week.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I'm getting to know Irish people more. I guess it's
There you go.
an Americanized Irish thing. Over here, it's like, oh, I want an Irish coffee. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, you know, Irish, I guess, are known for this whiskey and the coffee thing, but it's
Yeah, it's just the sterilizing the drunken Irish, you know. I mean, I'm totally fine with it at all, but it's just no, I wouldn't be like, I love whiskey. I'm a whiskey man, but I wouldn't be like, oh, do you know what? I'm going to ruin my whiskey with some caffeine.
Okay.
I would just I'd have my glass of Redbreast or Yellow Spot neat. Do you know, that'd be it.
Well, now we know more about MrGibbon. I wanted to get back to the Ireland part. Favorite Irish drink or dish? You have any favorite Irish dishes?
No. I always complain about this. I'm a mad foodie. I love food, but the Irish food is terrible. It's very bland. Yeah, no flavor.
Kind of like the British. I mean,
yeah,
British food I heard is something else.
It is. I don't know. So the Irish breakfast is a big thing.
Yes.
An Irish breakfast is black and white pudding.
Okay.
Hash brown, bacon, sausage, beans, tomato, and a slice of bread or a slice of toast. That is beautiful. Now, I've had it in America. It's disgusting.
Yep.
If you come to Ireland, you need to have a full Irish breakfast.
Okay. I'm writing this down.
Oh, it's amazing. It's so nice.
Have you ever had a full American breakfast?
I have.
Okay.
It's disgusting.
Okay.
It's just like, by disgusting I mean it's just I don't know, it's extremely fatty.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Oh,
brother.
Guys.
I have a Miller Lite with mine to give in, I'll tell you what.
Crazy.
No, I'm just trolling. No, but I love that's actually a question later I'm gonna ask about full English breakfast. But no, I'm glad you like the full Irish breakfast because I've heard really good things about it. I just can't do tomato. I can't.
Oh, just take away the tomato.
Okay. Beans also, blood sausage maybe I can't do. What's your favorite item on the?
Oh no, the blood sausage, right, is completely different to what we have here.
Really?
Oh, it's like, oh yeah, the blood sausage in America is disgusting.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I'm telling you now, you know, the Clonakilty black and white pudding and just this, like, that was a huge thing that I found. The sausages in America are completely different to the sausages here in Ireland. They're just completely different. I don't know what you do with yours, but look, I see America as just barbecue.
Yeah.
You know, your ribs, barbecue sauce, your brisket, your fucking, because I lived in Kentucky when I was 17, and I got that real Southern experience and the food culture and all that stuff, and the moonshine and all that blabber. I couldn't get over your barbecue. I loved it so much. So good. The ribs, the baby back ribs, the smoked. Oh, Jesus, I'm just frothing in my mouth thinking about it. We don't have any of that in Ireland. We're very, very plain. An Irish stew is lovely, but it's only nice, I'd say, around the winter time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there isn't really any Irish dish. That's crazy. Do you know? There's nothing mad.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we know another thing about Irish people is that their food is bland. Or some people's Irish food. I'm sure some restaurants are pretty good.
Oh, there's amazing restaurants, but you see the restaurants here in Ireland, on the menus, it's a combination of European foods.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
like you're kind of getting it mixed up now when it comes to like. So we have amazing European food.
Yeah.
See, I look at it this way: America is like twice the size of Europe.
It is. Yeah.
So each state has their own particular food. I mean, you got you're in San Diego or in over in California, like you're known for like Mexican food, really, more or less. And then down in the south, you're known for your barbecues.
Yeah.
And then you got your pizzas in the East Coast and all that stuff. Whereas in Ireland, it's like, warm, hearty soups and stews. And then Italy's known for your pastas and pizzas. And then Germany's known for their sausages and such. And there's so many amazing foods outside of Ireland. So there's that. But with Ireland, it's just, I don't know, stews maybe would be a thing. But yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm going to, it actually goes on to our next subject, which we are going, well, first, hot take, tea or coffee? I think I can answer that question for you. Coffee. 100%. Let's go. We're going to do a section in the podcast, Mr. Gibbon, what I like to call the throwback section. This is everybody's favorite. It's kind of like what I said earlier. We're going to go through some tweets, some very old tweets and some very old clips of yourself. I'm going to stream it on Discord. I'm going to take off this. I'm going to then pull this up one more time. We are going to start off. First off, though, I'm going to take that away. Everything good? Can you see it? You can see my screen. You can see the Escape from Tarkov. I want to show you, before we get into this, this isn't on the script. I want to show you a PA classic. It's called Scrapple. Have you ever heard of Scrapple?
I've heard chat talk about it. Is it like...
It looks disgusting. It is... You don't want to know. If I could, maybe look up the label. Let's just say it is a lot of things. I don't know why I can't find one with like the actual. Let me see. Anyway, it's the leftovers of the pig. Everything. Yeah, it's disgusting. However, it's delightful. It tastes really good. If you can get past the fact of what's in it, like I said, Scrapple is very good. It's kind of like a Spam. Have you ever had Spam?
Oh yeah, Spam. Yeah,
it's like Spam, but Pennsylvanian. And Amish
Jesus,
people.
that looks terrible.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, uncooked, it looks absolutely disgusting. It's like the driest meat you'll ever eat. But that's like, it kind of gets a little, it sounds disgusting, but mushy and stuff like that. But that's Spam. That's Scrapple. That's kind of what PA people are famous for. I don't eat a lot of it.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, we have some other good things like pecan pie. Amish food is very popular here. Very, very popular. I have an Amish person that lives in my backyard, essentially. They're right behind my house and stuff. So it's really cool. Yeah. Back to the throwback section. I want to go to one of your first ever tweets. And very similar to what you said before. June 13th, 2020. Hi guys, it's Ed. Let me know how I'm doing on my first stream. I found this.
Oh,
yeah, one like.
God.
Yeah, 4 years ago. I was 19 years old when this tweet came out, Mr. Gibbon. I'm 23 now, or 22 now. So a while ago, that's for sure. But this was one of your first ever tweets on Twitter. Hi guys, it's Ed. I thought it was super wholesome. Hi guys, it's Ed. It's just like it's such a wholesome thing, right? Like it's so good, Gibbon.
Oh wow!
I had to bring that up.
Are you able to check?
I don't think I can check on here. I'd have to check on.
That.
Oh, we'd have to see who the real.
It's probably me who liked this.
Oh my God, we'd have to see who the real one is. Okay, I'm going on to your second tweet here. Let me see the context of this one. I wanted to bring up a progress picture, kind of like a gym pic. But this isn't a gym pic. This is actually a TikTok pic. We hit 10K likes on TikTok.
Wow.
This was August 24th, 2020.
Oh my God.
And you hit 10K likes. You have 860 followers here. You can see your content. I just wanted to say, Mr. Gibbon, look how fucking far you've come, my brother.
Look at that, man.
Isn't that cool?
That is crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the bio and everything, the content down here. Completely different than what it is now in a good way, 5 people like this one. We had one reply. You are a shining star. Let's go, Fissy. We love that guy. That's hilarious. I had to bring up some progress.
That's crazy, dude. That's mental. My God.
I found this. Another clip that it's somewhat newer clip, and this is from your Twitch. I want to point out, I got to go full screen for this. I think it is the literal cutest clip that I've ever seen, and we're gonna watch this. This is somewhat recent. We're gonna watch this. Actually, let me do this real quick. Let me turn off this so you can't hear that, and let me turn on the audio a little bit.
Oh my God. Lily.
Let's stay.
Oh my God. She's like
she
my
looks
little
so
mascot.
happy to be there. She looks so happy to be there. I'll tell you what, she didn't look the happiest when you put on the headset though.
No, she didn't. She hated it.
Lily was just happy to be there and be involved. Like what going on? Game of dog.
And just put the head down and everything.
I love that clip, Gibbon. I had to bring it up. It was the cutest clip I've ever seen on Twitch,
I
man.
tell you one thing, I'd be absolutely lost without that dog. She's just always here beside
so
me, just chilling
awesome.
out. Yeah,
the dog is gamer.
Incredible.
Dog with the gamer on it. That is so cute. And then the last one, this is an older clip that I found. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. It's called Ooh Scary. I don't know if you remember this.
I do.
But this was during the Halloween time, and I think Warzone had their own little event. And I'm just going to let it play, and scare warning for anybody that's watching.
Oh, there's three on me.
Two teams.
Wow.
Oh man,
I got jump scared.
that was so
Dude, I didn't
gold.
know that was a thing. I think the funniest part about this clip, okay, for one, it scares you. Okay, and you get scared shitless. But look how fast you're back in the zone for your teammates to help them. Like,
Oh man, they were some good times.
Then you're like, okay,
I really miss those days.
we're
I
back.
got jump scared.
He said, "Got you. I'm scared." I thought that was hilarious. Your webcam overlay was sick too. Everything about this, I just love. I gotta watch it one more time. I'm sorry.
Got you back.
Oh, it was amazing.
Your teammate goes down. You're hella focused.
You never played Warzone on Halloween, no?
I know. I did not.
Oh, dude, it was so good.
That's so funny, Gibbon.
That was man, that was some great times. I think that clip was taken at like 2 a.m. as well.
Really?
Oh man, I'd say I woke up the whole house.
Oh my gosh, that's
My
crazy.
neighbors were complaining then as well. They thought I was getting. So that room was it was down like the back of the house in my grandfather's library, and I always had the window open because it was such a stuffy room.
Yeah.
And the neighbors would be hearing, and they fucked me out of it one night. They're like, "Shut up!" And I was like, "Oh, fuck
The neighbors hated you. That's hilarious.
They hated me at the time. My God, it was so funny.
Well, I appreciate you looking back in the throwback section. I always love introducing that to the guests and stuff like that. I hope you enjoyed that. We do have one more. We do have one more throwback section. I'm gonna unstream, and then we're gonna turn back the camera on, and then click here. I've been getting faster with these screen transitions, Gibbon. I'm proud of myself.
Good on you.
One throwback question. You've been a creator for a long time, Mr. Gibbon. What's one thing you wish you did differently or sooner? Switch games, etc. Play what you want. What's something you wish you did sooner?
I think I probably play Tarkov a lot sooner than I did.
Okay.
I think I wasted a year with Warzone, but look, I really thoroughly enjoyed my time playing Warzone.
Okay.
I had some amazing memories, but I was copying other creators when it came to I wasn't coming up with my own thing. I saw a video, I was like, oh, I'll do my own take on it, and I did it, and I do well, but it wouldn't do better because there was something already original up. So that would be a huge thing. If I were to play Warzone, I don't have any regrets playing it, but I do have regrets not doing my own take on it.
Being yourself in a sense, right? Like kind of like what you touched on earlier is, right? Like you felt, at least outside of streaming, you felt very fake with the modeling industry, and just like being yourself as a creator is something you wish you did sooner. That's a very good answer.
I was still in that kind of like headspace at the time, and I'm completely away from that now. But I think at the time I was, and I was like, look, if there's someone else is doing it, I'll do my own take on it and see how well it does. And if it does well, it does well. And it was doing decently well. I just kept doing that, but I could have done so much better. I could have done so much better. But yeah, that would be it, I'd say.
Okay. I think that's a good answer. I mean, you kind of, that's a lot of people too. They wish they were themselves sooner, especially as creators, right? I want to go to a one last section of the podcast. We do have one more after this, but one of the final touches, we got to get into the life and mental health section. So we're going to get into some deep questions. If you don't want to answer something, I don't think I put anything that you don't want to answer, but if you don't want to answer anything, don't answer it. But before I get into the deep questions, I wanted to quickly touch on the fact you're Irish, you know, and I wanted to ask, is there anything that chat and the viewers right now might not know about Irish people? Is there anything like any secret that the Irish people are hiding from the rest of the world?
I don't know. I don't think so. We're fairly
listen, I don't know if this is a secret, but us Americans, we're dickheads. I'm going to be honest with you.
Wait, Americans are dickheads?
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, let's be real here.
No, I mean, look. So when we were in San Diego, the last it wasn't last year, it was the year before. We were in San Diego for TwitchCon. There was a lot of arseholes.
Yeah.
Working staff. There was a lot of arseholes.
Yeah.
And I was like, maybe it's just a San Diego thing. Maybe it's not anything else. But no, there isn't. I mean, I feel like the Irish people, there isn't really much.
Okay.
I mean, we're kind of an open book, I feel like.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing. I feel like I just wanted to ask, anything about the Irish people that people might not know.
Jesus, I don't know.
No, it's okay. We can move on. We can move on to some of the deeper questions. I also, if your girlfriend needs to like do something, just let me know.
He's like, do you want to do he knows that you're here.
Yeah, no.
He's like, sorry. She's there.
No,
like, what's going on?
I don't mean a bad thing. She can say hi if she wants.
What are you doing? You're just watching.
Okay.
I mean,
tell her she can check out the podcast on Spotify if she's a fan of that.
You can check out the podcast on Spotify. I can give you the link.
That's
She's
funny. No, it's okay. It's okay. No, it's okay. Fully understand. We've had a bunch of guests have guests that come into their room. It's no problem. No worries.
No, it's fine. She's just there. She's literally just there.
She's just watching. That's.
She's there now. It's raining outside. You have to.
Oh, it's always raining in Ireland. It's always raining.
It is miserable right now. It's horrible.
Yeah, that's terrible. Well, at least we're all cuddled up, having a good time on this podcast. I wanted to get into some of the deeper questions, and then. We'll let you go, MrGibbon. I know you're a big advocate for mental health, and you're a perfect example of what people should be. You know, a good dude. I gotta ask, have you always been this way? We kind of touched on this earlier. Have you always been this way?
Oh, I have, yeah. No, I definitely have. So the whole when I was modeling for that time, I was doing Mr. Ireland at the time. I was doing I was kind of more or less doing it for the mental health side of things. Like I wanted to see if I can improve the mental health in colleges around the country, because it wasn't really big, or it is now, but it wasn't too big at the time. And I wanted to see if there was a way that we can improve that, if we can improve facilities all over the country in colleges and such. But I didn't win, so so maybe didn't want it that way. So it was weird in that sense. But yeah, no, I've always been into it,
as so many people should. I feel like mental health isn't talked about a lot, especially in men. Yeah, you know, it's not talked about a lot. In Gibbon, you've always been the first to helping others, you know, helping people feel less alone. Something that somebody has going on, you help them in chat, right? I wanted to ask though, who are some of your some people or friends that supported you in the darkest times? Maybe give a little shout out to everybody. I know you have some friends.
She's right outside. Yeah, she's definitely a big one. Is that right?
Yeah.
What are you doing? She's just listening to everything. Yeah, no, she is. She has been a huge part of it all. Probably it's gas. I'd love to say my mother, but I still think my mother hasn't a fucking clue what I do, even though that I tried to explain to her what I do, and she's over the head. But growing up, she was always supportive of me with playing video games. She was like, look, do what you love doing. And she always knew that I would do something in the video game industry, whether it was teach how to play a video game or design video games or art in video games or play video games. But she doesn't know what I do now. I feel like she thinks what I'm doing at the minute is teaching an audience how to play the game.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, I press play or I press go live, teach people how to play the game and turn off. That's it. And that's my day. She doesn't see the whole editing. She doesn't see the whole engaging with chat. She doesn't see like any of that stuff. She just thinks I just teach how to play a game and that's it. So that's kind of, it's kind of shitty in that sense because I would love for her to be more a part of that, but she's just not, kind of thing. Yeah. And then the same with my father as well. He's growing up, he was more of a he's a businessman kind of a dude, and I have had some amazing memories with myself and my father playing games growing up.
Awesome.
But he was still in that kind of business mind. I'd say he'd still prefer me to go down like the whole kind of business route. Yeah. Because he's a businessman himself. Yeah. So I think he's proud in the sense that I've turned what I've wanted to do all my life into a business. And so he's supporting me in that sense. But yeah, it's the same as my mates as well. Like they all kind of knew, oh, you're always been a gamer. Yeah. So I'm very, very grateful for that too. That's awesome. But it's definitely important to like open yourself up all around, no matter who you are, especially in the chat too. Like I'll never forget the time I was watching a streamer live and someone went in saying that I had to put my dog down. And the streamer's response was really shitty. Yeah. I was like, fucking what? How are you like, at the end of the day, you kind of have to, as a streamer or a content creator, you have to be there for your community no matter what. Yeah, because that's how you do it, you know? Yeah. That's why I tell people all the time, I say thank you for being here because I wouldn't be able to be me if it wasn't for you. You know? But like seeing their response when a chat was saying, oh, I had to put my dog down of 10 years today. And their response was like, oh, well, you're lucky that it's not your mom or your dad, it's a dog. I was like, what? That's crazy. I was like, that's actually fucking mad. And the fact that this person had like a couple hundred viewers, I was like, this is nuts. This is wild. Yeah. But no, it's always important to like open up. I agree. To whoever, you know, someone close. Pick up the phone. That's it. I agree. Text. 100%. 100%. And I wanted to talk about something. Just a quick little question. I swear I've seen you tweet about it before. The gym. I wanted to ask, as a fellow gym goer myself, how has it helped your mental health? Oh, stop. If I didn't go to the gym, I'd be a fucking lunatic. Any PRs lately? Any PRs lately? No, it's just right now I am trying to lose the weight. I got up to 95. I was bulking. I got up to a nice 95.6 or something like that. Okay. So I'm trying to get back to 80, 81, 80. Okay. But I feel like gym is one of the most important things that anyone should do. Anybody. You know, you just gotta. It doesn't matter if you're skinny or you're fat or you're just medium build. Doesn't matter at all. You just have to go. Because it's a fantastic hobby. You're releasing what's the word? Endorphins. Endorphins. Oxytocin is the stress chemical. Stress receptors. There you go. So you're releasing all of that when you're lifting a weight. And it's gas, right? It's gone to a point whenever I'm streaming, my chat know when I haven't gone to the gym without me even saying it. They know by my mood. They know by how I look. Do you know? They just know. It's like, hey, you didn't go to the gym today. You got to go to the gym later on. I'm like, okay, I'll go to the gym. But no, it's before when I was competing, I was training like twice a day for 6 days a week. And that was heavy. Jeez, it was really heavy. It was nuts. Yeah. But that was at the time when I was just working retail. I wasn't doing anything else for myself. So I was just going to the gym and I was just doing retail and I was just focusing on the body and that's it. But it's extremely hard to be doing that now, doing content creation. Yeah. If I as soon as we buy a house or we build, I'm putting in a state-of-the-art fucking gym in there. Yes. No, 100%. Because I've been going to the gym now, I would say 7 years. Wow. 7, 8 years, maybe nonstop. But there's times now where I just take a couple of weeks off or something like that. But honest to God, if you just go to the gym just for a half an hour, go on the treadmill,
Yes.
lift a couple of weights here and there, get a free program online, you're going to see a huge difference if you keep doing it for a bit.
And not even just physical difference. You see mental difference.
Oh,
like,
mental.
oh my
It's more
gosh.
mental than physical, I think.
Kind of like what you said with chat and everything. I suffer with a lot of anxiety, and when I have anxiety, I stutter. I talk. I like kind of what I just did. A little bit of anxiety there. When I go to the gym and I get back from the gym, I am the most clearly spoken person that I, in my opinion, have ever met. I don't stutter. It's so crazy. It is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I wish I could go back and thank myself for getting in the gym, treadmill, losing weight, little progress myself. I'm down 50 pounds, which I don't know how much that would be.
In kg,
I don't know what that would be.
25, 26 kg.
Yeah, we could have somebody in chat kind of do the translation, but it is the best thing that has ever happened to me.
That's great, man.
It's
That's amazing.
It's
Fair
so
play.
good. Like, oh my God, I just love the gym, and I'm glad that you feel the mental health benefits as well.
Oh no, you have to. I mean, I'm seeing skinny dudes who are like playing or streaming, and that's all they're doing. I mean,
Yes.
it's like, dude, just get to the gym, just release whatever you got. It's built up inside you, and I guarantee you're going to see a huge shift in your personality and your health.
I agree.
Massive.
100%.
Look, at the end of the day, the gym isn't for everyone, and I understand that.
Yeah.
If you just want to be a gamer, that's fine too, but do not rule it out straight away. Just try it, see what you think. If you hate it, you hate it. But I remember when I first went into the gym, I hated it.
Yeah.
Because just looking around and seeing everyone that was big, huge, shredded, and everything. But I just went past the wall, and I just kept doing it, and I love it. If I go to the gym, I'm so much like, I didn't go to the gym today because I'm so stiff after doing legs yesterday. But I go tomorrow.
The worst.
So when I go tomorrow, I get absolutely. I feel like today now is just like a kind of a chill kind of day.
Hey, 100%. It's not the greatest day outside, like you said. Just stay inside.
No, stay inside, stay cozy.
Yeah.
And then tomorrow will be like, go get it done. Get up early, go to the gym.
Let's go.
Boom.
Let's go. That's awesome. I wanted to ask about the gym because I know everybody that goes to the gym is such a, like, people think that gym goers are like stuck up dickheads. The gym is the nicest community that I have ever met. Like, they'll help you. They'll tell you tips. It's just such genuine people. I wanted to talk, aside from the gym though, content creation can be very stressful. I'm sure you know that. What's some things that really help you on the days that you feel a lot of stress? Besides the gym, maybe.
If there's a day that I'm stressed, I just don't stream.
Okay.
Which is very rare because at the end of the day, I take a step back and I'm like, I'm so grateful for the amount of people that I have inside me, have inside around me. Jesus. Yeah.
Hopefully they're not inside you, MrGibbon, on me.
But no, it's like, if there's barely a day where I'm like, I have to stream, because I'm just so blessed with the community that I have. And if there's ever a time that you feel like, I gotta stream today, you're doing something wrong, or there's something going on. And if there is, that's fine. Just take a step back, take a breather for a couple of days, have a bit of a detox, and then plow into it there a few days later. But I don't know if I have an answer to that, because there hasn't been. I mean, for stress, the only bit of stress that I have is creating content. Is trying to figure out what's next, kind of a thing. And I would be the type of person to be like, it'll just come. Yeah. January was a fairly bleak month for me. Yeah. In terms of content. My average was down, my subs were down, overall viewership was down, TikToks were down, short form content, long form content was all down. Very, very stressful in that sense. But then I was like, look at what's to come. And then I went over to Daisy yesterday. I doubled my average. I quadrupled my subs. The chat was fucking fire. It was wild. And I was like, look, it's the month of the January is a detox. But the next thing now that I have stressed for is the house, would be the internet. So it's like, when we move into this place, how long am I going to be off social media until I get the internet in?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, what am I going to do for the time that's off? And what are my audience going to do for the time that's off? Because when we went to Florida last August, before that, I had food poisoning and I was sick for 10 days. And I couldn't stream. I was just getting sick all the time. And 10 days later, I had to go off to Florida for 10 days. So that was 20 days. So I was sick for 10 days, went to Florida for 10 days. And then I got bit by a spider out in Florida. And then I was sick for another 10 days.
What?
So I was away from content creation for a month. Oh my God. That nearly fucking destroyed me.
Yep.
Because it depleted like majority of the subs. Majority of my viewers went over to someone else. And I just wasn't in the headspace to create content because I was out of the rhythm, and the anxiety built up because I was like, I have forgotten to communicate with chat.
Yeah.
So it took like a month or two to get back into it, but I still haven't really recovered from that big of a hit.
Yeah.
Because fair enough, if you take a break from like streaming a game or take a break from streaming games in general, I took a break from everything. YouTube, TikTok. I was off. The only place I was on was Twitter, just to keep people updated, because I physically could not do anything when I was food poisoned, and then I was just so busy in Florida for work, and then I was sick again with the spider bite. So I was just like, what is going on? So like stress relievers is just to look towards the future, I guess. In a sense of games to play or ideas and inspirations and all that stuff, I guess, maybe. But other than that,
Good answer. I mean, a lot of people relate to that. Just look towards the future, you know?
Yep.
When in doubt, look at the future, you know?
That's it. Look at the light at the end of the tunnel, you'll be fine.
Yep, exactly. It's cliche and it's cheesy, but it's good advice. It really is. I wanted to ask, what are some things that you learned as a streamer or creator that has helped you with life outside of the computer? For me, for example, it's patience. TikTok chatters are crazy.
Oh my God, stop it. TikTok chats are fucking nuts, dude. That's why I've kind of cut down my TikTok streams.
I don't blame you.
One of the biggest things I've learned from streaming is keep your circle small.
Okay.
When I first started streaming, I had a big circle and I was comfortable with telling people such. And then the people who I thought were close to me at the time actually went to stab me in the back and tried to get me cancelled.
Jesus.
Man, it was fucking rough. It was so bad. So I've learned to keep your circle small inside and outside the real world. Like, so I would like, real world is all around, but inside streaming, keep your circle small. Outside, keep your circle small. You know, that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah.
That I learned as a streamer, because outside, before I was streaming, I was trying to impress everyone, and it was coming off as being like kind of a fake kind of a person. Whereas with the streaming, it's like you just have to be that one person, and you will bring in the people who will see you as that real person, and they'll be able to link with you in that way, because they're like, oh, that person's either like me or I like that person.
Yeah, I've said it in other podcasts. You attract what you reflect. That's the one quote that I live by every single. Yeah, you attract what you reflect.
Yeah, exactly.
What you give out to the world is what I read a book on it, and I probably mentioned this every podcast. The book was called Good Vibes, Good Life, and it talked about the law of vibration. It sounds sus, but it's essentially what goes around comes around, in a sense.
Oh yeah.
What you give to the world is what you get back, and what you vibrate, in a sense. If you vibrate a good vibe, you will vibrate that vibration out to so many people, and the good people will come back to you. And I'm a firm believer that in full-time content creation. So I'm glad that you brought that up. I'm glad
behind you in that 100%.
Yeah, and I wanted to know, a lot of streamers actually. Let me move on. What do you wish to change sooner in your life? Or what did you wish to change sooner in your life? Whether it be as a creator, as a person, a son. Is there anything in your life that you wish you changed sooner?
Jesus.
I think the one you said earlier about being like with the modeling industry being a fake person, you said you wish you were yourself sooner. I assume that would be it.
Yeah, I mean, the modeling gave me a shit ton of confidence. Mm-hmm. It gave me the confidence to be in front of a camera.
Yeah.
And because that was one of the biggest questions that I had when I first started streaming. They're like, oh, how do you be you on a camera? Like, you seem fairly natural to talk to camera. And I just be like, because I have like 4 or 5 years of being in front of a camera.
Yeah.
So it's like I prepared 4 or 5 years beforehand. But when I first started modeling, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to pose, know how to do whatever. So there was that. So in that sense, that was a good thing out of being a model. But I would say if I only did the modeling a little bit and I went into content creation a little bit sooner than later. But I don't know, maybe I was just lazy, or maybe I just didn't have the time. Because like I had a part-time job, I was a student, I was going to the gym, I had part-time modeling gigs. I didn't really have much time for that, and then I had rugby as well on top of that. So I don't know, it's a weird one. A lot of people are saying to me, it's like, oh, do you have any regrets like starting content creation a little bit later than sooner? And I'm like, not really, because one of the biggest Irish creators, or one of the biggest creators in YouTube, is Jacksepticeye, and he's 33, I think.
Yeah.
He started around, I think I started creating content at 27. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I started at 26, 27. I'm 29 now, and Jacksepticeye started at 25, I think he was. Okay. Maybe 24. So it's never really too late to start content creation at all, I think.
Yeah.
So I was in that mindset that, I wish I changed that. But now I'm like, I'm kind of happy the way I am. But
yeah, it's not about it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. A lot of people have told me that. That's why I asked that question. It gets you to think, but it also, some people don't realize that they don't wish to change anything, even though they might have been through a bunch of terrible stuff that has happened. They don't wish to change anything because it's made them who they are today.
Exactly.
You wouldn't be right here if you might have been here. You wouldn't be here talking to me about content creation if it wasn't for the modeling business and realizing that about yourself, right? And a lot of people say the exact same thing, so that's why I ask it. 100%.
Maybe adapt a few things, but I don't even know what to adapt, Jump.
Hey, you got where you are now. You got where you are now because of who you are, and you're a good person, Gibbon. So I'm sure that's exactly why. One final section. It's called the speed questions. Do you have time for some chat questions?
I do. Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. So chat, get your questions ready. Before that, I want to get to know you I want chat to get to know you. Just some simple shit though. So it's super simple questions. They're speed questions, but you can answer them however long you want. I'm just gonna start off. Favorite color? Simple question, but
burgundy.
Burgundy. Okay.
So it's right. It's on the logo. Where's the logo? There's the logo. It's on the logo.
Yeah. Burgundy is a sick color. Burgundy. I love burgundy.
I love it. It's rich. It's vibrant.
Yep.
I don't know.
It's a good color, and it combines a lot of the colors that I like. So I love burgundy. Favorite vacation spot?
Ooh. Oh, vacation spot. What are those? I don't know. America.
Okay.
Yeah,
that
we
works.
say America straight up because I've been to America a few times in my life, and well, for work as well as vacation. And any times I went over for vacations, I had a blast.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably
Vegas. You didn't go to Vegas this year, did you?
No, I never went to Vegas. No.
I know. Was that an experience, bro? That was the best weekend of my life. Oh man, that was crazy.
The funny thing was, I was supposed to get a boot.
Really?
And it never came through. So that's why I didn't get a ticket or a plane or anything. Because I was told a week before TwitchCon, it was supposed to be a little bit of a surprise because my Twitch manager, he was looking into getting a boot for me. But he came back and he didn't pull through a week before. I was like, all right, well, let's see how much it's going to cost. I was like, in the fucking hope that I was going to spend a fortune, because I spent a fortune in Florida, but I wasn't going to do it here in Vegas. So maybe this year.
Yeah, well, San Diego is nice, so I'm excited to go there. I haven't been there. I did go to Vegas. That was the craziest weekend of my life, even though I drank way too much and slept 12 hours through 5 days.
No, there you go. That's TwitchCon.
That's big. Oh, yeah. I felt very American in Vegas, that's for sure. Cat person or dog person, Gibbon?
Dog, but
Okay.
this Lily is my first dog, but I've had cats growing up, so I'm like in between. But like now I'm both. Do you know, I wouldn't. If I have a cat here, I'm happy. If I have a dog here, I'm happy. I'm kind of both.
Okay. That's fair. Good. Irish or British?
In what? In everything?
Yeah,
in every context?
we talking. What is better, Ireland or Britain?
Ireland, of course.
I know, that's why I ask it.
This is like,
I always like asking. I always like getting a snarky response from creators and stuff to try.
No, I could go off on a tangent, but I won't.
That's hilarious. This is another one. Full Irish breakfast. We kind of answer this. Full Irish breakfast or full American breakfast?
Oh, Irish breakfast.
Irish breakfast. Okay, I don't know if I could do the blood sausage, but full Irish. I mean, I do eat scrapple, so I mean, it's.
If you eat scrapples, you know what, you'd be fine with the pudding, the black and white pudding.
I'll have to try
Definitely.
it. One last speed question, and then chat questions. Chat, ask some damn questions if you have any. Rain or snow?
Well, we don't get snow here.
You don't.
So
wait, you don't get snow in Ireland?
No, we don't.
You don't get a little bit up in the. Is there any mountain ranges that get snow?
No, we just get rain.
Wow. Have you ever seen snow, Gibbon?
Oh, yeah. So I don't know. Like, I love the snow. I really, really do. But I hate the fucking rain. Anything but rain, because we have it every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, snow. Why not?
Okay.
No, we did go on a ski holiday, and I absolutely loved it.
Okay. So maybe you are a snow person.
Maybe.
I mean, I like the snow. I hate rain. I mean, I like rain sometimes, but when here in PA, it likes to rain for 5 days in a row, and I'm sure you get that a lot in Ireland.
Oh, yeah, we do.
Maybe like 8 months in a row instead. But we get too much rain here. I get depressed. I need to see the sunrise and the sunset. We do have a few chat questions, and then we will send you off on your way, Mr. Gibbon. I appreciate you being on the podcast, man.
Oh, dude,
seriously.
thank you for having me. Thank you.
First off, favorite Tarkov map? I think we answered this earlier.
What was it again?
Customs or streets?
Street customs or streets? Probably, probably customs or streets.
I respect that. So I have a coffee guy in chat, and so he's the one that sends me freshly, not ground, but he sends me coffee beans from all around the world. And I'm sure he wants to ask you if he can have some information, like a P.O. box that he can send you coffee. I can hit you up in the DMs afterwards about it, and that's exactly what he's asking. So I'll get you with my coffee guy. Secondly, has Gibbon ever had Waffle House?
What's that?
Okay. Yep. That answers our question. Waffle House is an American diner that is open 24/7. The cool thing about Waffle House is that you get a free fist fighting match out in the parking lot. Waffle House is known for being in not the greatest parts of the of cities and areas, and let's just say that there's fist fights to be had out in the parking lot. It's like a free show, you know?
Jeez.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's wonderful. Stints asked, does it hurt your soul to be that good looking, Ed?
Oh, stop it, Juice. Jeff. Stop it,
Jeffrey.
No, speaking of Jim, man, you want to get some inspiration? You look at Jeff. You look at that dude.
He's killing it. He was the last podcast that we had, and I asked him all about the gym progress, and that dude, he's killing it. He's doing such a good job. I'm so proud of him.
He's going to get shredded, by absolutely shredded. Fair play to him. Fair play.
Tight Timmy asked, what part of Ireland are you in? If you want to answer that.
The southwest. Okay. There's two parts. There's the north. There's the north of Ireland, which is a part of the United Kingdom, and then there's the Republic of Ireland.
Okay.
That's where I'm at. If I was from the north of Ireland, I'd have a very, very strong Irish accent that you probably wouldn't understand a word I was saying. I feel like my accent now has a bit of a smattering of American into it.
Yeah.
Just based off of trying to be a little bit more understanding in the stream, because I think 70% of my audience is American now. So if I went off into my full country accent, you'd be like,
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm sure there's a few accents around here that people can't really understand outside of PA. The PA country accent is pretty fucking bad. Jersey is worse. Jersey, you hear
Jersey,
Philly accent is pretty bad. You hear Ash, he says water.
Water.
Like going at Ash real quick. Daisy or Tarkov?
Oh, Daisy.
Daisy. Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
I respect it.
Look, I love extraction shooters, but the reason why I prefer the Daisy, I feel like, is because just the modding community on Daisy, you can't mod Tarkov, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But the modding community on Daisy is just unbelievable. It's unreal. It's class, and I love the open world kind of survival games more than extraction games.
Okay.
But I do like the extraction games, but I'd be more kind of prone to your own story, and that's what Daisy does.
Okay. I like that answer. We got a few more questions. I'll do like two more. Ask if you're a fan of Game of Thrones. If he is, has you ever visited the filming sites in Ireland?
No, the filming zones in Ireland. Fun fact: I actually applied for to be an extra. And it's a spoiler alert when John was being killed. In I don't know what season, I applied to be an extra for that scene, and I got it.
Really?
And I got it. It was up in the north there. The Castle Black, isn't it? I forgot the name of the area, but they handed off. They handed out. I got a text because I was modeling. I got a text saying, "Would I be interested?" I was like, "Yeah," and I got the gig. And then I went to apply for time off of work, and they said no, so I couldn't go. Yeah. They were like, no, you can't go because this is peak season. So
my gosh, they're gatekeeping, my boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
But no, I've never been up there.
Yeah.
Because it's literally at the very tip of the tip of Ireland. It's way too expensive as well. I mean, it's like a 4-hour drive, and it's tourist trap is what I say. But
sure.
It's definitely beautiful up there.
Now, a question for myself: what is a dream place to visit in America that you haven't?
A place that I haven't visited in America. I would love to go to. Do you know every autumn you see pictures on Instagram and TikTok of that place that is like it's upstate New York? I forgot the name of it now. What's it? I'll get the name.
I think
of it
I know
here.
I think I know what you're talking about. I'm trying to think as well. Maybe chat knows.
America at AUTUM.
Upper New York. Bolt Castle, maybe.
No, there's hold on. I'll get it here now. It's American autumn, best places to go in autumn. I've seen this before.
Yeah, the Adirondacks is what I was thinking about.
Yeah, it's a northeastern America, anyways. Around around autumn time, because it just genuinely looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
and I think Connecticut, maybe. Is it around there? Maybe.
Yeah, Connecticut. Oh, okay. You're talking about whole states. Maine, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island.
Maybe,
my sister lives in Rhode Island.
There.
Yeah. Okay.
I'd like to check that out.
Blue Ridge.
I'd love to go to Texas as well, just because a lot of my friends are there. Texas would be a lovely place to go to. But man, it's just the time, because this year, like, it's my 30th this year, and we're trying to see if we can plan to go to Japan. But also I'd love to go to fucking Texas as well on top of it. But like, look, it's just a long plane journey.
Yeah,
that's all.
The barbecue in Texas, Gibbon.
Oh, I know.
Man,
I come back like so fast,
bro. Oh my God, it's so good. It's so good. Well, Gibbon, I appreciate you hopping on the podcast here with today. I wanted to ask one more time, where can we find you? Platforms? Where's Mr. Gibbon at?
You can find me everywhere, MrGibbon. TikTok, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. Not OnlyFans. I'm sorry for that, for those who are wondering that one. YouTube, the whole shebang.
Yeah, that's awesome, Gibbon. Well, I appreciate you again, man, for being on the podcast. Sorry for taking some of your time on this rainy day, but I appreciate you being on the podcast, and I hope to see you in San Diego this year.
Oh yeah, well look, we have to sit down and plan that. I got a message from my manager asking if I'm going. I haven't really responded yet, so
okay, yeah,
we'll see.
You better
We'll
be
see,
going.
we'll see, we'll
you
see.
better be going, Gibbon. We appreciate you, homie. Thank you so much for
right,
sitting
dudes.
down on the podcast. You have a good one, man.
All right, you
stay
too, man.
cozy,
All
brother.
the best.
Hey, all the best to you
Bye-bye.
too. Bye. Man, I love Gibbon. He's such a good dude. He's such an inspiration. Chat, if you guys are listening right now, if you're an audio viewer, whatever it may be, you know where this podcast is going to be. You might be listening to it right now. Pandora, Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, wherever it may be. I would like to give one little quick announcement. As always, please don't forget to check out the Coffee with Geno Twitter. It's Coffee with Geno with 1 O, Geno. We upload clips and stuff from the podcast, and it is the best way to stay up to date with Coffee with Geno. So make sure to go follow that if you haven't. With that being said, as always, stay safe, stay caffeinated. I'll see ya. Peace.